10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, Wrestle Talk Podcast family. Oh my goodness. So happy to be here with you guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. We got a great show lined up for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be talking with Big Jim Harris tonight, as well as Steve Montana. And we're going to be talking about the St. Louis Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame, ladies and gentlemen. So I can't wait for that. It's going to be one heck of a show. As we know, last year, Luke Skywalker Roberts, our very own, was inducted in there. That was exciting. And, you know, they brought him onto the board for the Hall of Fame. And they're just doing awesome things over there, and we are going to talk all about it. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get my co-host for the night in here. As always, the one, the only, the young lion with the old soul, Gabriel R. Sin, ladies and gentlemen.
I do not care if it's required by the rest of the members. This is my music, all right? Never again. When it's a me and Haas show, I'm going to put whatever I want. Nah, good afternoon, Hardcore Haas. How you living, man? It's good to see you.
Hey, I'm doing good. It's great to be here, man. I'm glad you could join me tonight. As always, you know, like I was telling them, we got a heck of a show lined up. You know, going to be talking about the St. Louis Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame, and just looking forward to talking to Jim and Steve about the Hall of Fame. You know, there's just so much to talk about with it.
We are a big contributor for the St. Louis Hall of Fame, and it is definitely a big piece for us as the rest, because we've been talking about it for the past couple episodes now. So now the time's coming, getting to that point. We got some special guests to line up talking about it, but happy to be here, but a lot going on in the world of professional wrestling as always. But before we dive headfirst into our high spot segment, we got a little bit of business to take care of. And I'm not just talking about what you did to me last Monday night, Hardcore Haas. All right, we're going in more detail. We got a little bit of FWWC to talk, a little bit. But as always, here in the Wrestle Talk Podcast, we got a little bit to take care of. If you'd like to take us off, Hardcore Haas, if we take this moment, I think you know it's time. I'm dreading it. I know Susie Haas has been dreading it. I know everybody in the back. But as always, we have to take a moment to give thanks to the greatest country here on God's earth.
Wrong thing.
Nah, keep it going.
Why is nothing working here?
Yeah. Yeah. Young lion with the old soul. Rocking here till I grow old. Here with the FWWC. Gonna see just what I can be. Rocking with hardcore odds.
I have no idea what happened there.
That's perfect. Now we got it situated. There we go.
They done changed a few things here since last time I was on StreamYard, so
It's quite all right. It's quite all
I
right.
don't know what's going on, but let's see. I think we got it. So you know what time it is. Brings a tear to your eye or blood to your ears every time. You know, we just couldn't start the show without Roseanne.
I know your mic is on, but I can't hear you. Your mouth is moving, but no sound is coming out. I think Roseanne did a little damage here.
Can you hear me now?
No, I could hear you to begin with. I was making a joke about going deaf.
Oh, okay. I thought there was actually something wrong.
You'll never know. All right, here we go. As always. But yeah, I've just, world of professional wrestling. I mean, the funny thing is that I think we got a lot to talk about simply because we are quite literally 4 days away from 4 separate pay-per-views running. For the uninitiated, before we jump into DJ Money, just want to throw this out there. Got a couple of things going on. Currently, WWE Night of Champions on June 27th, the NXT Great American Bash, TNA Slammiversary, and AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door 2026, all on June 28th. So, wrestling fans, we have our hands full, and you will have to pick which one you want to watch first. I definitely know which ones I am ready to start watching, but
so the WWE is the 27th, and all the rest of them are the 28th.
Yeah. I don't want to be the one to say this, but being first isn't always a good thing.
But hey, and also on the 27th, WDWA going to be running a show called Over the Top. We're going to have a 30-man battle royal where the winner will face whoever the champion is at Berkeley Mania in August. So, that's going to be in Martinsburg at the Berkeley County Youth Fairgrounds on the 27th. So that's going to be a show. You don't want to miss that.
I want to say who's currently champion right now. Somebody put on notice.
Champion is Austin Kingsley the fifth. And
the fifth.
He holds that title, but of course there's always that unknown with why he's holding a holy grail that he could cash in at any time on any title he wants. So always got that unknown.
You always wonder if that's what he's planning for, because this sort of thing is the kind of thing where the champion has to fixate on who he's focusing on, who he has to focus on somebody who can outlast others in a battle royale, because it's a hard kind of match to win.
But
so the thing is, all of his focus is on there. He ain't looking at the guy waiting in the wings.
But before we get to all that, before we get talking too much more wrestling, of course, we always have to thank our great and wonderful sponsors. We got Retro Zone, Painter's Dream Production, the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, who we'll be talking with later on tonight. Doomed Outfitters, that's our boy Will Ace Bromlow, World Domination Wrestling Alliance that I was just talking about, and the FWWC, the premier fantasy wrestling group. And we'll get into a little more about the FWWC here a little bit later, but we've got so much to talk about, Gabe, and I can't wait.
I was gonna say me and you. We wanted to make sure we ironed it out just enough for you guys tonight because we had a couple questions, but we thought we needed to kind of diversify the pond. And thankfully, the world of professional wrestling has been giving us a lot of options to work with. Okay, because we got questions for AEW, we got questions for New Japan, we got questions for MLW, finally back for their return. But I won't get ahead of myself. All right, we got to throw it to the one and only DJ Money so we can make our way into this high spots questions here on episode 546 of the Wrestle Talk Podcast.
Mic check, mic check. Yeah. All right. Wrestle Talk Podcast. DJ Money. Yeah. Let's go. Welcome to High Spots, where we pop news like clear chops. We dog shop, coming through the screens of a laptop and non-stop like a runner speakers of blacktop. We hit hard like chair shots and backdrops. Like a clock flash, look like a belly flop. Now that's hard. We up to speed while they stay slow. Wrestle Talk Podcast. Now they know we about to start the show.
DJ Money always hitting it hard. You know, we got to thank him for that track that he made specifically for us. He's a great guy. Be sure to check him out. But, you know, like he said, it's time to start the show. So let's see what this randomizer has for us tonight. If it's going to play nice, we'll see, you know. And our first question.
Oh.
There we go, Gabe. This is already in your wheelhouse, buddy.
Well, the funny thing is a lot of news outlets, not just the Wrestle Talk Podcast, have been talking about this. So it's one of those things where I'm like, you know, only smart marks like to pretend that they care about what people in New Japan have to say. But thankfully, this has been, you know, I think it did what he needed him to. So our high spot here we have is with Yota Tsuji's comments about AEW. Do you think this will affect New Japan's partnership with All Elite Wrestling going forward? Now, I was going to say, if you want to start us off real quick while I pull up some of these comments just so we can get it, because we actually had a second comment with not Yota Tsuji, Shota Umino recently. So it creates a bit of a dynamic. Did you hear about this recently, Haas?
I actually had not heard about it until you and I were talking about it in the pre-show meeting, and you were filling me in on it a little bit.
Perfect. So you want me to take the lead on this then?
So be my guest. You know, for those who don't know, could you fill us in on some of the comments that have been made, just so everybody might know what we're talking about?
I would love to. So if we could pull up the photo of him real quick. The person featured is the current reigning and defending IWGP heavyweight champion Yota Tsuji, former Los Ingobernables de Japón. I believe he's with Unbound Co. now. He recently just won his second championship from Callum Newman. I think it was at New Beginning or Sakura Genesis. I have to double check. I have been very, very behind on my New Japan, but I've been keeping up now that G1 season's around the corner. Look at this man. Can we make this? Are we able to make this bigger? I don't think we can.
No.
Okay. I was gonna say we got to get a good photo of this man. He looks fantastic. I love Yota Tsuji. He's gorgeous. But he's recently had a bit of an issue with the partnership between All Elite Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling. I actually have it here. It says, "I don't think we must firmly protect what New Japan Pro Wrestling must not lose. Look back at the past. There were 4-way matches, open challenges, and retired wrestlers challenging. Do you think I would participate in an IWGP match when it's being treated like this is in FD? As the man who revived the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, I have to protect its value." So, okay, so it was Dominion. I meant to preface this. He won in New Japan Dominion. But yeah, he as of recently, for those who are unaware, that version of the IWGP Championship, that more rounded one, colloquially known as the V4, he was the reason that belt got brought back. It originally had a more triangular look. That was the V5. So yeah, I can understand why the man takes it kind of personally, because for those unfamiliar with some of the matches that were on Forbidden Door, it is a mega showcase and a card of mixed talent between All Elite Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling, but it really does feel like they kind of treat them like the B plus players, that they're second fiddle. And in Yoda's case, I can't really blame him. I mean, I personally think the Fatal 4-Way was perfect. It was Adam Page, Kazuchika Okada, I believe that was Juice Robinson, and Jay White, which I thought was fantastic. But let's be real, and I talked about this to you last night too, Haas. Jack Perry versus Sonata for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, that is not a money match. All right, that is not main event in the middle of the card. That is, well, we needed somebody to get there, and we wanted to make sure this guy had a match. So it's not a good look. So in Tsuji's case, I can kind of understand where he's coming from. Now, in regards to the question, I do think this does create a bit of tension going forward. I mean, if somebody, I mean, he's the champion. He can do wherever he wants. From one champion to another, Yoda, you're allowed to go and work wherever you feel like it. But this does affect the partnership in that somebody like the AEW World Champion is going to appear on a Forbidden Door card, but the New Japan is not. And I think this does create a bit of an animosity because where the world champion goes, the rest of the champions follow. What does this do about the strong never open weight, the 3-man tag team titles? Will this be the last time we see New Japan championships being defended on this card? I don't think it's the last we see of wrestlers, but I do think this is the issue of champions don't want to show up, that they don't feel like they need the time for that. And this coincides with New Japan removing a lot of AEW content off the New Japan Pro Wrestling World app. So you have to wonder, is New Japan going forward being a little more limited with what's going on with All Elite Wrestling, both with their cards and their lending of talent, that they want to bolster their roster? Because a lot of the roster that AEW that are hard hitters right now, they were scalped. They were sniped. It was one of those things where they were main eventers and they were winning world event or main events and world championships in New Japan, but AEW said, hey, you want a lighter schedule and work an American date and we pay you more? So you got to have to wonder if that's where that animosity comes from.
Well, and, I can understand exactly where he's coming from, just because, I openly admit I don't know a whole lot about New Japan. I have checked out New Japan here and there. I still want to learn more about it, but I don't know a whole lot about it. So when this partnership came about between AEW and New Japan, to people who didn't know New Japan, I think this was kind of like New Japan was for lack of a better term, because I'm not exactly sure how to put this, but for lack of a better term, New Japan would be like a minor league type thing, and so, okay, yeah, we're going to show their stuff on ours, and they're going to show our stuff on theirs. But it felt like AEW was the bigger side of things. And then once you started seeing wrestlers jumping ship and coming over to AEW from New Japan, and that becoming a regular thing, honestly, it made it feel even more kind of like that. They're graduating up to the big leagues. Not saying that's the way it actually is, but just to somebody like myself who doesn't know a whole lot about New Japan, and this being the way that New Japan gets introduced, kind of made it feel like that, So I can see exactly where his frustration is, because I think it does diminish New Japan and what they really are. As I have watched some of New Japan, as I've talked to you from time to time about New Japan, I've learned more about it, and I've learned that, no, they really aren't a minor league. They really are on pretty much an even keel maybe even a little bit bigger than AEW in all honesty. But, just that partnership made it feel that way where it felt like they were under the foot of AEW and they weren't. Just like, in my opinion, the partnership that WWE had with TNA, it kind of made it feel like TNA was on a lower tier than WWE, especially when they started that out by putting people against NXT. Okay, so we're going to put you against our future superstars and not even our real superstars. So a lot of these things kind of make these other companies seem to be beneath them, and in reality, they're not. They are just as good, if not better, sometimes than the company they're partnering with that you actually know about. So I think it's a double-edged sword, because these partnerships do help because, yeah, they give you that exposure to them. But if you don't know about the company already, I think it gives a negative exposure to them.
Well, I was going to say, I want to speak on this if I can. I think the biggest issue is that right now AEW has this sense of well-knownness. I'm like, granted, they're not on the level as they were when Punk and Bryan were still in the company, but you have enough of a fan base to be able to sell out the shows that you do and enough to get people to buy the big pay-per-views when they matter. And I think AEW fans can agree Forbidden Door is the big pay-per-view. I'm like, people are buying it because they know who New Japan is. So I think the issue is that at some point we lost the plot here, and All Elite kind of perceive this image of like, yeah, but that's the other market, instead of being like, that's the alternative market. Other makes it sound like, yeah, but they're not on American TV, so how popular are they? Versus, well, that's a different market. That's Japan, And I guess my point is the fact that, when the first couple of Forbidden Doors started, it did feel like that. It did feel, because it was a combination. It felt like some of the New Japan stars were getting the rights that they needed, and the AEW guys got what they needed. But at some point, there was a disconnect. And I think the biggest thing they can do to fix that right now is, for one, I think they just got to stop stealing their talent. I think that's the biggest thing that's probably pissing people like Yota Tsuji off, is the fact that he feels like he has to hold the fort down now because anybody else that's not dedicated to New Japan or who has been for the company for long enough has jumped ship. So it's one of those things where, well, why would we? Is this really a partnership if you're taking our guys? So it's, I can imagine that there's a bitter taste in his mouth going forward from that. Now, I also wanted to add what Shota Umino said in regards to AEW, because I think it's pretty night and day, in that it's pretty fascinating because they're both two ends of the new generation of Three Musketeers. And I feel like they're both kind of slotting into their positions, because Yoda does lean more heel. And I think it's safe to say that his personality is just an extension of himself. His character is his personality. So I think this is just Yota Tsuji being the guy he needs to be as the world champion. If you don't want to be treated like the world champion, don't go for it. So I think he knows his worth and is putting his foot down where he needs to say, I'm not showing up on their pay-per-views, so you can pay them. You pay to see me where I'm at. And I can definitely relate. But I think with somebody like Shota Umino, who recently just had comments on this in regards to it, I'm trying to find the exact quote here. His concern was that as the global heavyweight champion, he sort of reps the brand, even if he agrees with Yota Tsuji's point on it. I'm able to find this. The IWGB global title is just that, global. I'm ready to fight anyone, anywhere in the world. Pac, I'll see you at Forbidden Door. So yeah, we got Pac versus Shota Umino, by the way. Y'all better be ready for that. It's going to be a banger. Just hoping this man can defend. He's a bastard, Either way. Now,
But
I do have. I was going to say, you were saying, Hollis?
no, I was just going to say, but yeah, I mean, that's just my feeling on the whole thing is these partnerships kind of make one company feel, you know, kind of inferior to the other one when I think they're meant to bring them to even levels and both sides get something out of it. But I don't think they work that way. I really don't.
Well, and you have to wonder how this is going to affect cards going forward because a majority of AEW's roster has thrived from the Japanese market. I think places like WWE, they have people from Pro Wrestling Noah. They just recently got Naraku. He's pretty cool, formerly known as Evil in New Japan. I think they have a decent amount of New Japan stars. Shinsuke Nakamura, your Io Skies, your Asukas. But I think AEW has a better conditioning of they're not Japanese stars, they're stars who happen to be Japanese. The fact that we have people like Kazuchika Okada, like Konosuke Takeshita, like your Miyu Yamashita's, it's one of those things where they have this platform that does create more value, and New Japan gains value from that. But then you shot yourself in the foot by saying, well, we kind of want to keep them now. And you're stealing. It feels like you're poaching. So it definitely does create that issue. And you have to wonder if this is going to affect booking going forward. How many other New Japan stars are going to take that same hint and not show up to the next Forbidden Door? How much of this do we have to cover with, and I guess the big question I have to ask before we jump into the next one, Haas, is what do you think AEW has to do to remedy this? Because I think it's safe to say they don't want to lose New Japan as an ally. I think the market is open for New Japan to be able to build itself up from the ground up, even when it's missing stars. This isn't the first time they've had to really reestablish themselves in the eyes of the casual viewer. But I think the concern here is the fact that, what happens if they say, you know what, we're not going to renew this contract for a while. Maybe we're just going to keep our guys here. What do you think needs to happen?
Well, I mean, I think they're on the right track already. They do have talent there, and they've got people that are going to draw. But now they came out with an announcement that MLW is now going to be on their platform. So it kind of.
So you're saying they made the right decision, is what you're telling me?
Yeah, I mean, now they're going to align themselves with MLW, so they're not really losing the American connection. They still have it. And, hopefully they have gained some new fans out of it that's going to follow them with that MLW connection. And, hopefully that will bring more eyes to both MLW, and people who watch MLW will now have eyes on New Japan. So hopefully it will work. And I think, honestly, the connection between MLW and New Japan is a little more even keel than the AEW connection was.
You know what I think, not to cut you off, what I think them pairing with MLW and making it an effort to not just cross promote their stars, but also, I guess the word I'm looking for is it keeps the ball in New Japan's court. They realize, hey, we have our people that are dedicated, both our wrestlers and our fans, and we have people who want to work with us. The fact that I think this tells them we don't have to sit. It basically lets them take their ball and go home. They can say, hey, cool working with you. No need for that anymore. It basically says AEW, time to wisen up, or at least time to straighten up, so to speak, because New Japan has options. They keep their door open and they keep their phones open. So especially given the talent pool, because I'm sorry, with the G1 Climax, if we could do something similar to 33, where we have 4 separate blocks, and if we could get an Alex Hammerstone, maybe a Matt Riddle, maybe a Karrion Kross in the G1 Climax, business is about to pick up. So you already know that I have plenty to say about it, but I think we got a question in there somewhere in the high spot section. But I think going forward, yeah, AEW better watch out. Let's hope this pay-per-view is a good one so we can continue to see this partnership, because I don't want to see it end. I don't know about you. I mean, I know like you're not the biggest AEW fan or New Japan fan, but like you don't want to see a partnership like this end if it can be avoided, right?
Oh no, I mean, if it's something that's good for the business, I definitely don't want to see it in. And you know, like I said, I have checked out New Japan, and part of it was because of the partnership, you know, starting to see some of their people, and was like, hey, okay, well, let me check out New Japan a little bit more. And, you know, I started watching it, and then I started seeing differences between American wrestling and New Japan wrestling, you know, and I mean, I've hit you up a couple of times and was like, what the hell is this? You know, just because it's something I didn't see before. And but it
definitely I still cracked up because the rule set in Japan is different. I'll mention this every time, I don't care. But the rule set in Japan is different. So for the uninitiated, they have a 20 count instead of a 10 count. I think it's better personally. It gives the wrestlers longer time to do shit, and they still managed to get it down to 19. And during title matches, a count out does result in a title change. So you can lose on a technicality, which I think is better because you get people like, you know, your Houses of Tortures, your shows, your Narrator Rens, and they try to cheat their ways out of it. And they get creative. You've seen them, right, Haas? They'll take them like 30 feet out, like to the corner, they're off to get a bag of chips, and then they'll slam them on the register and be like, all right, walking back down to the ring. And then it's like, you know, Shota Umino or Konosuke Takeshita has to get up and sprint. It's like the count's at 17, and he has to run like it's basically cardio practice. I don't know what else to call it. It's amazing though.
Yeah, because I hit you up on both of those things. I was like, what the hell is this 20 count? What? They have a 20 count? Yeah. And I hit you. Wait a minute. The title changed hands on a count out? What?
I mean, you're damn straight. And we respect the rules in this household. People want to pretend like more rules doesn't do good things for wrestling. And I'm like, yes, it does. Because it creates a framework for a heel to break them. And it creates a framework where the face has to work within them. And if more people would incline themselves to appreciate the culture of Japanese wrestling, the world would be a better place. But no, we want to be idiots, and we want to watch the Bloodline for the 100th time. We were talking about this last night. It's matter of fact, do we have a shoot and shout tonight?
We'll have a shoot and shout. Right. Shout out to Andrew checking in for us.
We gotta shoot him a message. I'd love to have him on the show if we can. He recently just had a belt that he got. He's doing a sort of an underground thing. It's pretty cool. All right. Well, anyways,
he just got a new mask made up too. It's kind of cool. So, but yeah. So, I mean, that's just that's my take on the whole thing. So, let's go ahead and get another question in here, and then when we talk this one, we'll bring in somebody else to talk a little bit about stuff too, because there's somebody else in the back that wants to chat with us. So, but let's go ahead and hit this randomizer and get another question in here, and we'll see what we got.
Ooh,
with Rhea Ripley injured, who do you think should be in position for the Women's World Championship going forwards? Ooh. You know, you and I talked a little bit about her being injured last night.
We had to verify if it was a shoot or not. That was the
right thing. Because we weren't sure, is this injury legitimate injury, or you know, are they pulling one over on us again? And from what we were seeing, it looks like it's a legitimate injury. But did we ever find out how long she's actually going to be out?
I think it's long enough to where they have to relinquish it. I can verify, but yeah, it's one of those things.
Yeah, because that's my question: is she going to be out long enough that she really, truly has to relinquish that title? And if she does, I feel bad for her having to give up a title after fighting
No
so hard to
confirmed
get it back.
timetable. Wow, they don't even have an estimate. They're just like not. They basically said not looking good, not looking good. So yeah, I think it's safe to say the convenient thing is that as unfortunate as this is, and Wrestle Talk Podcast thoughts out there, Rhea, we wish you a speedy recovery and we can't wait for your return. But what's nice is that this almost plays into something we were talking about last night, Haas, and that is the fact that WWE is running into an issue. And that is that for all their talent that's getting injured, working the shows that they do, and for all the talent that they have, this creates a gap that the main event needs something to do. And this can actually tie into another question that we have, but I'll try to keep it brief. What this does is incentivizes WWE to start making stars, because we have people in the top ranked position, but they don't have enough credible challengers. We have a lot of unproven talent that has an opportunity. And in the women's division, this is essential because we have people like Tiffany Stratton holding the middleweight champion, or excuse me, the mid-card championships up. And fortunately for WWE, this coincided with a pay-per-view determined to create a new challenger. So let's hopefully say that Io Sky is there to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, and that's who Susie thinks should fill the gap, is Io Sky.
I mean, if they want to do something next level, Haas, and kind of just throw this out there, they have Liv win it and then have her just hold both belts. It's something different. It's something different. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, it's different for the women's division, but then aren't they kind of rerunning Roman holding both titles?
Yeah, but I mean, now they're already rerunning the bloodline, so you might as well just make it go through, and you might as well do something different with it. Because if anybody deserves a double title run since Becky, it's Liv. And I think she has the potential to be really good about it, especially if they play their cards right, because now she can lose the belt twice. So you can create a star while also still keeping the shine on her, because she can still have a belt afterward. I'm just throwing that out there. This is not ever going to happen. This is really stupid and more complicated than it needs to be, but it would be interesting and different. But so would throwing a tiger through my window. So I get it. Like, it's
Susie says no, not Liv.
No, of course.
But
she's just hating because Liv's prettier than her.
But I there's a lot of interesting ways they could go with this. I'm sure they're going to end up giving us something we don't want, because that's what WWE seems to be good at lately.
Yeah, they're gonna let Jey Uso win it.
But let's get a man in here and get his opinion on this. He is a man who does some booking in his own right down in FWWC. He does all of our booking there. He is our head admin, the one and only Dewan Mill.
What's up, y'all? What's happening?
What's happening?
Can you see me? Barely?
Half of you.
All right, I know, right? I'm trying to get it together. My phone's being weird, man. It's going to do this crazy stuff. All right, there we go. Can you see me now?
I see you.
Can you hear me okay?
We hear you.
Awesome. So, Gabrielle, since you said that, and it's going to happen because you said it yourself, if WWE is really stupid and it doesn't make any sense, guess what? It's going to happen. Liv Morgan, new double champ. I'm just saying.
I believe you're muted there, Gabe.
No, I was making sure I knew I was muted. I was trying to fix it. But no, I need to ask you, explain yourself, Dewan. Why do you feel this strongly, and would you put money on that?
I don't know, dude. I'll be honest with you guys. Pro wrestling kind of loses its stature when things become so predictable. But even more than that, it's starting to tell on itself with the injuries, man. I don't know. you kind of want to have a little bit more faith in a structured regiment because these are athletes. These are performers. These are people that put their bodies on the line on a weekly basis. But if you look at the scheduling, if you look at the regiments, the training regiments, whatever the case it may be to put on a successful professional wrestling WWE program, eventually the cracks are going to start happening. And the injuries are definitely cracks. Now, I'm not saying everybody's going to be going down the same route, but man, the shit's starting to tell on itself, dude. And I'm not a fan of it. How many injuries do you see in AEW? How many guys do you see get hurt over there? And I get that's a lesser program, blah. Fuck that discussion. You know, we need to do our best to protect the performers, and that way everyone can perform for us. They can take care of their family, so forth and so on. You really can't do that if you're on the sideline. So, you know, I hope Rhea the best. I hope all the people are the best that are injured currently. But you might want to start tweaking some things, man, because if it start becoming a little bit too often, it might be an issue. That's just my opinion.
You know, and you talk about the injuries. How can you not have injuries when you look at the things they're doing now compared to things they used to do? I mean, yeah, they'd hit each other with steel chairs back in the day. They'd hit each other with barbed wire. They'd hit them with a nightstick. But they weren't jumping off the top of cells. They weren't jumping off the top of the Titantron. They weren't slamming each other on the stage where there's absolutely nothing to protect them. You know, they weren't throwing each other off of the stages. They weren't diving through the ropes or over the top ropes to the outside as much, you know? So how can you not see injuries when they're putting themselves in these high risk situations?
Right.
I mean, I think that's one of the reasons you're seeing so many injuries now, is because they've just taken it to such a high risk area that you're gonna get hurt. I mean, I don't see a way that they're not gonna be hurt. And a lot of the fans, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the action, but at the same time, if every time a star goes in the ring, they're going to get hurt, that's not what we want to see. Yeah, we want to see our heroes time after time after time, not, all right, we're going to watch them in this match, then we ain't going to see them for another 3 months because they got to heal up, and then we're going to watch them in this match, then we're not going to see them for another 3 months. You know? That's not what we want to see.
Now, gentlemen, this does create an interesting problem in WWE that me and Haas were talking about. And that's the fact that, and this is actually something that might tie into the FWWC, because we have just had an extensive roster cleansing and a superb amount of call-ups, I must say, as far as the roster is concerned. And the question is, who do you think is going to step up now that a lot of our classics are either in AEW, retired, or are on their way to retiring? Think about it. No more John Cena. No, the last 30 years. Think about how long that's been, dude. It's 2026. It's almost been 25 years since the Reign of Terror. No more Triple H. Roman and Seth are at the end of their ropes right now. They're reaching that twilight era, and that's not a bad thing. When you're a wrestler, you can wind that clock down as long as you need to. But you have to wonder who's going to be the one to step up. And to quote the man himself, who can show us ruthless aggression? Who do you guys think is going to be the one to do it?
I don't know. I had a lot of money. I had a lot of money on Oba. Still kind of do.
He is so over right now, and I really do. No, I'm serious. And there's another question. We have a question in regards to this, but he's gonna. The thing is, he's gonna lose because Brock comes back, and that's not a bad thing. Because think about the pop off, dude. This is the rubber match. This is the rubber match, and it's so much because now think about how much more he needs to win the rematch than he did the first time.
Good point.
But if this happens, we're gonna have somebody that is the new. I don't even want to call it. He's the first Oba Femi because he's not the next Brock Lesnar. He's the first Oba Femi, and this guy has the potential to be an even bigger star if he loses. It's not that he doesn't deserve the belt; it's that it's too soon.
Yeah.
Just long enough. Just keep them waiting long enough because the fans are still there. They're still here. And what's good is you gotta walk out. I thought he was gonna lose to Dom because they could have covered their asses.
Yeah.
You know,
And speaking of Dom, where do you guys think he slots into it?
Go ahead, Hoss.
No, I was going to say personally, the one that I think could potentially do big things would be LA Knight. But I mean, they've pushed him down so far now. Every time they start to bring him up and get him to the point that he's up there and you're like, I want to see him get a title. I want to see him go to the top. They knock him right back down to the bottom of the ladder. It's like, what did you just do? Why?
Can I tell you the reason why it's so frustrating, I think, is because LA Knight is the kind of individual who Bruce Lee would call water. And what we mean by that is he is such a good hand in that he has done everything that's been expected of him. And WWE has given them their shot. That it's one of those things where they say, hey man, just keep taking those L's. What was it? Think about the first L. How many I got yous has this man earned over his career in WWE? Because it's been a while. He put Uncle Howdy over. Finally had his chance, won the U.S. Championship.
Dummy,
Yeah. Exactly. And think about that, because this man has done everything they've asked of him. And and every time he's given his opportunity, even when he's told, hey, man, you got to take the fall, he's going to say, I'm going to take the ball and run with it as far as I can. I think about the feud with Roman, where he just got a taste of the main event. We all knew he wasn't going to win. And what did this man come out with? He was leaning on the back of his easy chair and said, well, from where I'm sitting, I'm at the head of the table. He knew. He said, you got 5 seconds of fame. He said, bitch, it's going to be the longest 5 seconds because you're not going to blink. So I think it's one of those things where everybody's ready but WWE. And you have to wonder, when does our pity run out? Or when does LA Knight's patience run out? Because it's not to say that LA Knight can't jump to another company. I think it's more that he's, you know what, I'm good. And more power to him if he does. But when does WWE jump on that trigger? Because, gentlemen, I'm going to throw this out there. This could be a future Mr. Kennedy. This could have been what could have been that we didn't get. And they have a chance to rectify that, and they haven't pulled the trigger. So you have to wonder.
Yeah.
And on top of that, isn't LA Knight in his 40s? Like, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
And my dude is proven. He's a good draw. He can do whatever he needs to. He switched gimmicks. How many people do that? That's a for lifer. That's the best kind of behavior of a world champion. A guy you know is not going to get in trouble. And WWE's like, let's throw it to Jey Uso. And I'm like, I'm not trying to trash on Jey. But we got another question in here. Tessa Blanchard? LA Knight needs to go. Needs to go like out of the company or go to the top, bro? What you mean by that? You got to elaborate.
That's crazy. Well, I know you guys got a show to do.
Mr. Mills.
Much, yes.
We got some unfinished business, sir, before you leave.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm just breaking down because we're all going through the same thing. WWE and its international money. Unfortunately, as you guys know, we do challenges weekly. But unfortunately, when Raw is on at 2 p.m. and like 95% of the FWC roster, including me, is at work, we can't do challenges. So once the time gets right, once they decide to come back to the United States waters for Raw, and I hear they're also in the United States for SmackDown, but they already taped that for next week. Once the schedule gets back together, the FWC will get back together. The only thing I can tell you guys that's going on right now is there are a few feuds that are happening. For the international title, we know that none other than our boy, our homie, Luke Justice is in the front run for that against Sister Haas, Badass American Diva, our current international champion. For the Hardcore Championship, we know that Sick has been having none other than Ace and Jason Curtis mix it up. Haas, I saw you get involved in that also. We're still getting those pieces put together, but between Jason Curtis and Ace, there will be a number one contender for that Hardcore Championship facing Sick for the Hardcore title. Let's see. For the tag titles, we know for a fact, and it's not official yet, but Brothers in Arms have been going against yourself, Hoss, and Badass American Diva for those tag team titles. They're not officially number one contenders just yet. We haven't made a decision on that yet, but they've still been going a little bit back and forth. Now that team being none other than Bishop and the guy that this dude. First of all, brother, I like the suit. I like the suit, man. I like the energy. I like the guy's promos. I like everything there is to know about this guy. That
now,
team,
if only he could make an impact, because you're forgetting this man's name, and I'm embarrassed that the Assassin Syndicate took the L to that.
Oh
That's
my
for no
God.
fault of my own. I will take the responsibility where it's due, Mr. Haas, and I will take the responsibility where it's due, Mr. Mills. But I need you guys to understand that Xander Payne, I appreciate the cut of your jib, my friend, but you need to get out there. All right, because you look like $1 million, but I ain't hearing you.
Sounds like a plan.
Make
I don't
me
know.
remember the name Xander Payne.
Yeah, it's a bunch of different days. Look at here. When you guys do your damn get like I know Gabriel Arsene. I know Sassy, you know, but like when you switch it up and do a bunch of different stuff, like when Dark Horse when Dark Horse pulled up, I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to remember that. It's no longer Hardcore Horse, it's Dark Horse. Oh shit. So yes, Xander Payne, but he has more than one name. So yes, that gentleman. And since you guys are kind of going back and forth, let's see what we can do for the future. This is new right here before we get to the last one. For the World Championship, our current champion, Rage. There's 3 gentlemen that'll be involved in that match, and not in the match, but in that program. Lucia DKC, Lecter, and also Nathaniel Jones. Again, no official number one contender, but those guys are going to mix it up and see what we can make happen. Now, last but not least, you talk about I got some explaining to do. The man that's co-hosting with you got some explaining to do, because the last match we had, or the last challenge we had, it was supposed to be a tag match, but somebody got their ass kicked before they could actually come out to the ring and couldn't compete. So, Dark Horse, if you might want to explain yourself, maybe we can get something figured out.
Well, you know, if you watch the promos, Dark Horse said he would make it clear that where his sights were set. And I think it's pretty damn clear where the sights are set at this point, you know, and that is if the champion ain't going to go running all over the place trying to stay away from him.
Drew a dime. Not a dime.
I think it's pretty damn clear where the intentions are going at this point.
Yeah. Dummy. Yeah. Yeah. Dummy. Yeah. Yeah.
Gabrielle, all I can say is the floor is yours.
I think LA Knight has said his piece, okay, Haas? Because the thing is that you want me to have that put that ass to work ethic, and it's only because you lost your championship. But see, I kept track of mine. I may not have taken that tag title away from you, but the difference is that I am still holding this. And the thing is, I do feel like I have something to prove now that you've done this. So the opportunity that I've laid out for myself is I realize I've been too busy waiting. I've been too busy anticipating something instead of reacting. So the thing is I plan to react accordingly, because I have a lot of people on my hit list that I've been needing to feel the need to prove myself against. Because the thing is, despite a lot of my vendettas being cured, despite being the man to finally break the record against his losing streak for this belt right here, and against the Assassin Syndicate, my rival, William Bromlow, one ace, Gabriel Arsene still has a lot left to prove here in the FWWC. So the thing is, I'd like to take a page out of Shotzi Blackheart's book, and I think it's time for Gabriel Arsene to do some monster hunting. But you see, we're not going to wait for Monday Night Mania. All right, this is the Warriors Heart Championship, so I am proposing that the Warriors Heart World Tour has some destinations to make. So Hardcore Haas, you've made your point clear, and I feel like I need to make sure I'm ready. I need a warm-up an appetizer before I get to the main course. So, tell you what. Summerstone. You think you can wait long enough? You think you can hold that belt that you're holding on your shoulder right now long enough to think maybe you can carry this one afterwards?
Oh, not afterwards. it'll be at the same time once again.
Oh, okay.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah, that's what you said about retaining. So we got a date. Okay. So now the thing is, I don't want to just leave you guys with that, because Gabriel Arsene likes to do things to keep even you, Mr. Mills, on the edge of your seat. So we got a bit of a surprise here, because the first destination, because Summerstone is quite a ways away, the first destination is going to be in a very, very special company I like to call All Elite New Japan Pro Wrestling, because Gabriel Arsene is set in an exhibition at Forbidden Door. I'm sure you guys saw my match against El Blaze in AAA. Fantastic match, 5 stars. We broke the Meltzer scale once again. But you see, I feel the need to do that again. And I feel the need to do that again against the man that you gentlemen will be surprised to hear I have not had a singles match against.
And exactly who was that?
I'd like you to guess, because you know him as none other than he, Mr. Bishop Devontae D. Gabriel Arsene is giving you your spotlight, sir. If you think you can win your opportunity and take this belt before Hardcore Haas can sink his fangs into me, this is your chance, my friend.
Well,
So
damn.
sounds to me like he's just running scared already.
No. See, what you need to understand is I'm lining it all up. This is dominoes, all right? I'm just building up to the main event, and then when I take care of all 3 of you, it will cement me as the man, as the greatest Warriors Heart champion in FWWC history. Now, I can't help but wonder, though, we have an opportunity here, because I still have one more date before Summerstone. And I think we have a bit of a beautiful chance to reflect on the question we just had. Because we have a chance to show somebody like Bishop Devontae D, a veteran who just needs another opportunity to prove himself after fumbling that bag at Universe Mania, I might add. But now we have a chance to spotlight the future with some new talent. So to be determined at a further date, but I'd like to introduce the next generation here in the FWWC and my second opponent in my 3 stages of hell in this Sisyphean task, Mr. Mills and Mr. Hardcore Haas. None other. Andy.
Gentlemen, it is an honor. How have you all been?
Wow. That's a big freaking deal, dude.
You're welcome. You're welcome for your next card, Mills. Think of this as a happy Father's Day gift, all right?
I'm not against
But
it.
just remember,
I appreciate it.
I'm your daddy.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Andy Omega, TWA champion to champion. I hope you will accept this exhibition royally. You can pick the date. But my only caveat, can't be a WWE pay-per-view.
We accept.
Pleasure to have you on the show.
It is an honor. It's been a good week trying to pick all the dirt out of my ear after, well, I can't remember what happened for the past week. Everything, all I know is I was pushed into a casket, buried underneath for a whole week. Excuse me for that. And all I know is it went black. I woke up with this in my hand. And now I see the whole truth. The world. What everything is. And Gabriel, you're going to regret giving me that exhibition match against you.
You don't think I faced monsters like you before? See, the difference is, Andy, you need to wear a mask to figure out who you are. I need to wear a mask to make sure people don't know who I am. You see, because I'm the thing that nightmares are scared of. All right, I eat, sleep, and feed off the demons in your dream, my friend. And that's exactly why I see that black heart tenacity inside you, that I know I can beat you down just as easily as mi maestro taught me the way, because you are the future. But you see, I got the strength to crush you into the diamond that I know you can be, to hold this bad boy right here. So this is your chance, but I'm only going to ask you one thing. Don't blow it, because you're going to find out real quick that you're not me.
You don't get it. This was manifested. This came from me. This ain't a mask. This is me. Omega out of the soul. Everyone I've taken out a good classic of your old buddies. Good old Robert, Captain James Maverick. Heck, I even took out the convict. Whoever he was, but...
You hear this, man? Taking out a couple classics. Ooh. I'm scared. I'm running shaking in my boots. You see, because I'm the man who wipes out the legends here in the FWWC. I'm the man who stands up to the people who call themselves a throwback. Because you want to talk about somebody outlasting the vets, they're all gone. I'm still here. Daniel Grimm. Swag Daddy. Julius Cairo. Need I go on? That's because Gabriel Arsene is built to last. But you see, I'm not going to let some new young punk push me around and act like he's going to show up on my show and out-talk me. So the thing is, I like your gusto, kid, but don't realize you're building the plane as you're flying it and you're headed for a crash. Because Gabriel Arsene, the thing is, I want everybody to understand, once I'm done kicking your ass, I'm using your head to kick his. Nobody's standing up. It only takes one genocide cutter, and I got one with your name on it, Andy Omega.
Oh, I know. He's got energy, and I love that. It only takes one alpha bomb to end a man, and Gabriel Arsene, we will put an end to that exhibition match, and to me, get in a future Warriors Heart title match in the far future. But for now, I will make an example, or should I say, we will.
You're going to make an example of me. Okay. Well, I'm going to make a liar out of you, because the only reason it only takes one Omega bomb is because you haven't run into Gabriel Arsene. All right? Formerly known as Alpha, because I am the peak. I am the pinnacle of the FWWC. 3-time Warriors Heart champion for a reason, because I got grit.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a lot. That was the almost the exact same thing as what the last world champion of my little group was, and now look at him down on the ground.
You're so
and
confident. I bet you won't put that on the line. I bet you won't, because you're scared to lose it. That's just it.
I'm sorry, my man.
Tell you what. Actually, let's throw this out there. This is up to you. I'm putting this on the table. What if I beat you? I get a shot at that IWA championship.
TW, Tactical Wrestling Action, my man.
Tactical Wrestling. All right.
Yes. But again, I already got it. Many other people gunning to get my ass. So we have to put them down like the dead dogs that they are.
Well, before I depart here, in the wise word of Hardcore Hoss, it takes more energy to talk out your ass than them lips on your face, and both you son of bitches must be worn out. With that being said, thank you guys for having an amazing night. The CEO's gonna get out of here. It was definitely great.
Well, while we have you on the show, Andy, can we pull the curtain back a little bit and get it back down to kayfabe? I was gonna say, I know we're all good with our playing. I appreciate the barbs, man. Fantastic way to keep it down. Next generation here in the FWWC, man. Welcome to the show. First time.
Thank you. It's really appreciative and honored to be part of Wrestle Talk and also the FWC.
Dude, you're doing great. And can I just say, I love the logo you came up with. It's like a wolf. I like the vibe. That's what I was going for when I first started. So I'm happy to see it. So I know you got good head on your shoulders. I was gonna say, what's going on with the TWA belt? If we could talk, you mind talking about it, Haas? Are we allowed to talk about this on air?
Go ahead.
We're shooting from the hip. It's a 2-hour show. Are you able to talk about it?
Yeah, I'm able to talk about it.
Can we see that belt one more time? I was gonna get you on solo layout real quick. I'm serious about challenging for that, man. That thing's awesome.
I don't know if you can see it that well, but
it's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I see the side. It's very similar. That's like a better version of the World Heavyweight Championship on TV right now.
Yeah.
That eagle does everything.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh yeah. Not only that,
awesome.
Crocodile back and
we got Hosses, I was gonna say. And then I don't know if everybody's seen out. We're just showing out. We're a bunch of nerds, bro. This is the nerdiest podcast. We're like, look at this belt that I didn't win. I guess the right wrestlers. I'm important. No, this thing's great. I'm gonna say we got ours custom. He's still working it out with the UPS and stuff like that. But be sure to hit up our buddy Will Bromlow, Doomed Outfitters. Sure to get you. He can make your custom belts. He made this one. He made the one Haas is holding. But Andy, I was gonna say, while we still have you, you mind hanging out with us until the second hour or so?
Yeah, that's fine. I got nothing planned.
We got a couple guests going in. I was gonna say, any word on our other guest, Haas, before we jump in, because this could just be our second half.
Well, they are coming. They may be a little bit late, but they are coming. I know one of them actually had a previous engagement that may put him just a tad bit late, but they should be along shortly. But real quick, just so everybody knows, what we've been talking about, the FWWC, that's Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide Chapter. We are on Facebook. We are a fantasy group. We do picks using pay-per-views and weekly shows, and we have custom championships that you can win. They get shipped directly to you if you win it, and then of course when you lose it, you have to ship it out to the next person. But be sure to check us out on Facebook if you want to know more. It's Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide Chapter. When you find us, click on join. There'll be a few questions there. Just answer them. And then myself, Dewan Mills, or the Night Owl Renee Martinez, one of the three of us would be receiving your answers, and we'll reach out to you and we'll talk to you. We'll get you started. You start down in FED, which is FWWC Evolution and Development. It's kind of our version of NXT. That's where that's basically where you learn how to do your role plays. You learn how to do your promos. You get your character development in, and basically just learn the way FWWC works. And through that, we go ahead and we'll get you up onto the main roster, and that's where you'll actually compete for your championships. So that's what we've been talking about. Check us out on Facebook, Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide Chapter. We are the premier fantasy wrestling group out there. So check us out. We have a good time.
Oh man, we got to look into it, because I got my, as you can tell, my business is about to pick up. I got my schedule all planned out. This is going to be me versus Bishop at Forbidden Door. We got Saturday night's main. Well, that's a WWE show. We got AEW Brawl in the Park in July 10th. Got to see if we can do that. See any pay-per-views that are coming up, man.
Gotcha.
All right. Were we ready to jump into this next question? Or are we trying to hit these
I'm
shooting
good.
shots?
So let's go ahead and see if we get this randomizer going again and see what it's got. And the question will be, with Charlotte Flair's transition to a likable, hard-nosed competitor, do you think she's done enough to keep the fans on her side for the long run? So,
Andy, I was going to say, as our current guest, you want to take the lead on this question?
I don't actually know if I have a answer for that, honestly.
Let's see. Transition to a likable, hard-nosed competitor. Do you think she's done enough to keep the fans on her side for the long run? I think if she plays her cards right going forward. So
Yeah.
what I mean, because it's one of those things where, is she feuding with anybody?
I mean, at least from what I saw from watching SmackDown last week, Jade's little minions, B-Fab and Michan, attacked her, taking out her left knee, I think it is. So she might be feuding with Jade and them. Not 100% sure, but I mean, B-Fab and them were the reason why she got her knee, messed up and why she probably lost, the qualifier match, quarterfinals, I think, of the Queen of the Rings tournament. So.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't necessarily say she's transitioning to that type of character. I mean, Charlotte Flair has pretty much always had the fans behind her. There's been some that have booed her, but I think she's had a majority of the fans behind her the whole time she's been there. And when she was out, people kept saying, "When's Flair coming back? When's Flair coming back?" And then she came back. She was supposed to be heel when she came back, I think. But, she is one of those people, and Gabe and I talked a little bit about this last night too. She's one of these people that I don't care what she does. She can't get people to boo her. She can't be the disliked heel. People like her no matter what. I think she could stand on national television and kill somebody, and they'd still cheer. Look at her go. I don't. So I don't see where this is really a transition, and I think the fans will stay behind her for the long haul. Irregardless whether they try to make her a face or try to make her a heel or try to make her in between, that's just who Charlotte Flair is. And I don't think that the fans are going to like her. I mean, dislike her. Sorry. I don't think fans are going to dislike her no matter what. I think they're going to continue to like Charlotte, and they're there for the long haul on it.
Yeah.
So that's my take. Not sure where Gabriel disappeared to, but that's okay. So now that you've had a minute or two to think about it, do you have a take on that at all, or?
I mean, more likely, like you said, face, heel, no matter what, people are gonna like her either way. I mean, technically, I feel like yes, she's done a good amount as a face, but I feel like she's been more champions as a heel than it is usually a face. I mean, I know that her and Alexa are former women's tag team champions, but Charlotte Flair, 14-time women's champion, so it's and she'd done that when she was heel, so it's But either way, people would still love her, regardless. I mean, I would.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I like seeing Charlotte as a face, but this is a first, honestly, and I'm very rare with liking heel people. Charlotte as a heel, I would like that, honestly.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that there are heels, there are faces, but there are
Yeah.
those that are in between. And
Yeah.
there are heels that I think they are best as heels. And when they're in the
Mhm.
ring, yeah, I'm going to boo them because they
Yeah.
are a heel. But in reality, they're so good at it, you can't help but like them because they're so good at it.
Right.
But then there's the ones like Steve Austin, who when he was out there and he was supposed to be a heel, he'd sit there and look at him and go, you people are absolutely morons and you stink, and and
Yeah.
they're, yeah, I'm a moron, yeah, I stink, and I'm like, you're cheering this guy who's putting you
You're
down.
cheering this guy who's calling you a moron. What the heck are you
And
doing?
I think Charlotte Flair is also one of those people who, no matter
Yeah.
what she does, she's going to be cheered.
Yeah.
So, Gabe, your thought?
The thing is that Charlotte has done a good job of staying out of the main event, like for a very long time now, and then she made sure
Gabe,
to
you're
add
muted.
star power. Oh,
We can't
No,
hear
I'm
you.
hearing him.
Oh.
I'm hearing him.
Oh,
Okay.
well, I can't hear him. Give me a second.
that was embarrassing. I was like, they could have stopped me. No, for Charlotte, it's one of those things where she managed to avoid being in the spotlight for a prolonged period, so it kind of helped reestablish her in a way because she was able to go face with Alexa, and like she hasn't gone heel, and like I think it's honestly just because she hasn't gone for a world title in so long. So now everybody's like, for one, people are getting injured, so it clears a spot up for her to be like, well, there's nobody else. At least she's won it the most, and we know she's a good champion. And two, I think they have the potential to roll with it if they can keep it genuine. Like, don't rush anything. And I was telling Haas about this last night, but I think they need to put her in the mid card for the Intercontinental Championship. I think she could be a very good value with her name, and then she's allowed to be a workhorse and build her credibility back up and just potentially be, I'm trying to think, potentially be a Cena, especially because she's, broken the records already. So she has, I don't know. If they can keep her honest and keep the veteran status, it should work. But, time will tell. And I'm only hoping for the best because, I don't hate Charlotte. And that's one step closer to me liking her.
Well, and with the name Flair, she's got to be the one to break Flair's record, right?
Mm.
I mean, it's the women's title. So, yeah.
Yeah, but still, if she holds it so many
Time.
she holds it 15 times or 16 times,
Or 17.
Then that way her name is right there with her father's. Not that it's not going to be already, but
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, Andrew, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure, and we will talk to you again. And I'm sure I will probably see you this weekend.
Yeah. I also want to give a big shout out to Scott White, or however you say his last name. He's the one who made me this mask. Fully 3D printed, fits my face. All you have to do, give him a text, send out, like, if you want a mask, give, measurements from your face to your cheekbones and all that. If you just want a half mask, do what I did, nose to chin, cheek to cheek. But, Scott was the one who made me this mask. So it's like when I heard that I was in a buried alive match, and when I found out that I lost, sadly, but more likely I knew that this was time for me, to try to see if I can bring a darker side out of me. And with this, makes it even more easier. But yeah. But Scott, thank you very much. I love it. And thanks for having me on here today.
All right. Thank you, Andrew, and we will talk to you soon.
Later.
coming for that belt.
All right, Gabe. Well, our guest is backstage, but one of the guests is backstage. The other one will be along shortly, like I said. But before we get to him, we got one more bit of business to take care of real quick before we get there. So let's go ahead and cue that music for our next segment, the Shoot and Shout.
It's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Everything is fun, everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life's on contract. Your best bet's to stay away, motherfucker. It's just one of those days. It's all about the he says, she says bullshit.
All right. Well, in this segment, what we're going to do is we're each going to get a few seconds, and you can go off about anything that you want to go off about. Anything that's been eaten at you, anything that just annoys you, just anything you want to go off on. It does not have to be wrestling related. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, we've had shoot and shouts about anything and everything. I've heard some about too much air in the potato chip bag, So
that is actually pissing me off, dude. I just bought I literally bought some at Wawa earlier. This is like a proto one. This is not my actual shoot and shout. Just bought some at Wawa earlier, dude. It was all air. It's like
So, whatever you want it to be about. So Gabe, go ahead and start us off here.
I am so sick and tired of, I don't know how to describe it other than self-righteous people. And what I mean by that is the kind of people who feel the need to try and pretend like they're better than you, despite the fact that they do the bare minimum. Like, you go out of your way for everything, and these people are just like, well, you know what? I wasn't a terrible person, so that makes me amazing, and I can't stand it. I'm like, when it actually comes time to pick up a shovel or do something worthwhile, they are nowhere to be found. They are at the end of the line. But when it comes to just taking the credit for actually digging the hole, that's when they want to be there. And I cannot stand it. And from the bottom of my heart, I despise you and I loathe you. I hope that got my point across. I wanted to keep it short, but I wanted to keep it poignant. I'm getting better about the shoot and shout without swearing.
But the big rant, everybody loves to watch the big rant with you, that's.
I want to be sophisticated in my pro wrestling internet rage, as gay as that sounds.
Alrighty. I honestly don't have a shoot and shout. That's one of the reasons I sent you first, was because I was thinking, okay, he'll go off and then I can come up with something, but I haven't come up with anything.
You're too nice about wrestling, Haas. What's pissing you off? There's got to be something stupid about wrestling that you're like, it's anything.
Let's see. All right, yeah, here we go. Here's one.
Matter of fact, what are your thoughts on the bloodline? Here, I'll throw you a softball.
All right, yeah, we'll go with that. Why do you have to keep? All right, there we go. Now you gave it to me. So why do you have to keep recycling stuff nowadays? You look at storylines in wrestling and they continuously recycle. How many times are we going to have the bloodline? This is at least the third time we've had a bloodline storyline. How many times are you going to do that? And it's not just with the bloodline. Television shows. Come up with a new television show. Why do you have to keep coming out with, reboots of old television shows? I mean, they had to reboot MacGyver. They had to reboot Quantum Leap. At one point, there was Knight Rider 2000 and Knight Rider something else. I think there's been at least 3 versions of that one. Yeah. Why? And the same with movies. Why keep rebooting the same movie over and over again? Come up with something new. All these writers and stuff, they went on strike because they wanted more control. They wanted to be more creative. And ever since the strike, what have they done? They've just rebooted the old stuff. They haven't been creative at all. So be creative. Come up with something new. So there we go. See, you did give me something.
Suppose somebody had to. Alrighty. I'm glad we can keep it to a degree, though. I don't need to. People are trying to sleep. I don't need to be that guy.
So, like I say, our guest is back, or one of our 2 guests is backstage. We do want to be respectful of their time as well.
We want to spotlight this St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, man.
Yeah, but before we do that, real quick, just want to hit those sponsors one more time here before we go into our second hour interview. So we got to thank Retro Zone, Painter Dream Productions, the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, who we're about to talk with, and we want to thank Doomed Outfitters, World Domination Wrestling Alliance, and the FWWC, who you heard us talk about a little bit earlier. So thank you to all those great and wonderful sponsors. We wouldn't be here without them. And so now that we have all that business out of the way, Gabe, I think it's time that we go ahead and we bring in our first guest here. And the other one, we can bring him in and he can join us when he gets ready. So do you have the intro ready for him?
I believe I do. Or I think. I was going to say, is this a media asset thing or is this just to play music?
Well, do you want to introduce Jim, or do you want me to introduce him?
I think you're better at it than me.
Well, there's a lot of things I'm better at than you, but hey, it's nice of you to admit finally
just
that I'm
wait till
better than you.
Summerstone, Haas. Just wait till Summerstone.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man in charge of the St. Louis Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame. He's been here before. He's been around the St. Louis scene for some time now. He is an absolute legend in the St. Louis area, and he is a very beloved member of the Wrestle Talk Podcast family. Please welcome the one and only Big Jim Harris.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it, guys.
Heck yeah. Am I the only one who thinks that sounds like TNT?
Pretty close to it, yeah.
Right? I'm sure that's how we get away with playing it.
I'm sure that is. I'm not mad at you guys.
Thank you for joining us. It's always
Timothy Harris, man. How you doing? Sorry. I had to come up with that.
All right. Gabriel, I'm trying to be nice to you, man. These young guys.
We always look forward to the Hall of Fame time of year, and it's just great when we get to sit down and talk with you, especially, last year you guys inducted the one and only Luke Skywalker Roberts, and, it was great that you actually came on Wrestle Talk and broke that news. Nobody other than you and I believe the Night Owl knew that you were doing that. So
yep.
It was it was great to have that moment, and it's been great so far this year, and there's the information there for the 2026 Hall of Fame, so definitely something to check out. I wasn't able to make it last year. Unfortunately, can't make it out this year either. But I do want to make it out there sometime. But for those who aren't initiated with the Hall of Fame, how did you get the Hall of Fame started, and what are the prerequisites to being nominated to the Hall of Fame?
Well, I started this Hall of Fame back in 2018. God, I sound old. And does 2018 ever exist anymore? But when we did this, my goal was, you always see these different Hall of Fames, and you see, and I don't knock any Hall of Fame. I think they're awesome. Anyone that does one especially for their groups and stuff, keep doing it, man. I think that's beautiful. That's your legacy. But what I wanted to do was to honor all the groups in wrestling. As you know, we got a whole lot of promotions everywhere. And a lot of those promotions got started by guys that were legends with us. And they moved on and created these other promotions. And then started thinking, well, how do I pull all these groups together? Because back in my day, it was territories. And you weren't allowed to run from one territory to another territory, permission and all that good stuff. So this was my way of saying wrestling was one big family. And when it came to St. Louis, there is no wrestling without St. Louis. When you look at wrestling, there's no STL, there is no wrestling. And St. Louis was the hub of the wrestling. So you talk about the Sam Munchnick era, and a lot of those guys that wrestle for Sam would tell you, if you wrestle for Sam Munchnick in NWA in St. Louis, you made it. That was comments made by Ric Flair and a lot of other guys. And so how do you get there? You get there by the independents. You don't walk into an NWA. You don't walk into WWE or anything. You got to start from the basics, right? So my thing was, how do we honor those people that help get those people to those big shows? You didn't get there by yourself. You had to get there with some help. And then I tell everybody, then once you get to the big show, what happens when you're no longer on that big show? And we've seen a lot of that of late, haven't we? Where people are going, "Oh, we don't need you no more. See you bye." Well, they come back to the independent shows. And that's where you start seeing all these guys again. So I just tell everybody, be humble by what you do. Be grateful for what you did. Be thankful to the people that helped you got where you're at. Because guess what? You're coming back down to see them eventually. And now you're that person that should be carrying that legacy on. So how do we carry the legacy on? We bring these guys in. We look at years of wrestling. So this goes to your other question about how do you get into the Hall of Fame? Well, we look at how many years you worked, the places you worked, how many matches you've worked. We vet out everything that's given to us. So I got these wonderful people that know history very well and can quote it without even opening a book or a Google search. They could just rattle off to you. So I got some great guys researching this stuff. So then once you're vetted and you're known that, hey, they meet the criteria of years of service, the legacy they carried on, passing on the information and the training, and what did you give back to the community that supported you? We don't exist without the fans, right? So no fans, no wrestling. And your legacy stops at that point. So we honor the fans. So this hall is unique in that we have so many different areas of honoring, not just the wrestlers. We honor the managers. We honor the people behind the scene, the cameras, the setups. We even have the Jerry Billion Award where we honor the super fans that go to every single independent show throughout the area. And we know those kind of people. You do a show, go to another show, and there they are in the front row. And you're like, wait, man, I just saw them over there. And then you go to another show, and there they are there too. So we have some super fans. And, so we kind of look at all those different areas. So in 2018, when I started, the two top promoters at that time were MMWA and SICW. So Tony Costa with Little Dynamite, as we all knew him, was able to manage to get Herb Simmons from SICW to help put him in. So Tony was the first person into the Hall of Fame. And then what Herb didn't realize was when he got there, I had somebody else coming in and we put him in at the same time. So, it was a surprise for both of them. Neither one knew they were going in until that night. So that's just how it worked out. And then I've been carrying it on from there. And then the last, maybe 5 years or so, 4 or 5 years, I've put a board together. And now we have board of directors. And they help with the picking of the next group for every year now. So we get a whole list of people. Sometimes we end up with like 20 names. And now those 20 names, you got to figure out 6 people you're putting into the hall. And that's not including your awards. We got the John Blackheart Award. We got the President's Award. We got the Jerry Bullion Award. We got the Pete Parisi Award.
I wanted to ask, actually, how did you come up with a lot of those awards? Is it just something that happened as a natural progression? Like, is it like in wrestling when they just come up with a belt because they're like, well, we need something for these guys. They're doing something.
Well, when you start doing it, Gabriel, you're right. Because it's like when you start doing it, you're like, man, we're not recognizing this group, these group of people. And they give their all. They're there every night. Think about, you got guys that do ring setup, tear downs, and they do it every single show, no non-miss. And then now when they're done with that, now they're playing security to keep people from jumping in the ring, and helping out with those type of deals or carrying gear back to the locker room and stuff. And those kind of people we miss out on. The Pete Parisi Award was based on Pete was one of the first people in St. Louis that actually got us on cable TV. Before there wasn't much going on back then, it was hard to get on cable. You were working off of VHS and beta tapes at that time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how old I am. Yes, okay. I just show my age.
I grew up with VHS. Don't get too mad at me. I just turned 28. I'm young lion with the old soul for a reason. All right.
There you go.
VHS. You may grew up with VHS, but do you have any clue what he's talking about when he says beta?
Yes, Betamax.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Yeah. I stand on business.
There you go.
I know what Laserdisc was
too. With the cable shows. Yeah, with the cable shows, you had to have stuff on beta tape. So it was interesting. They were had all these restrictions.
That's the thing. I get mad about this because it's one of those things where I'm like, sorry, I'm completely off tangent. This is another shoot and shout, but like I'm always worried. If there's a solar flare tomorrow and the internet's done, it's like we better have held on to those tapes. Everybody's like, oh, it's in the cloud. I'm like, what happens when we can't reach the cloud, huh? I'm like, I wish you had those Betamax tapes.
Yeah, because a lot of my VHS ones I transferred to DVDs, but guess what? I still got my VH ones. They're not going nowhere.
DVD scratch. I'm just saying. I get it.
Yeah. So
St. Louis Hall of Fame. No, this is a wrestling show, right?
Right. Now we're talking all this behind the scenes stuff now. But like I said,
keep people entertained.
right. So like I said, Pete got us on, and he had his different show. He had his Worldwide Magazine show along with the wrestling show, and Big Daddy was a big part of the wrestling show. He, it was. If everybody remembers Big Daddy when he was on there, you couldn't help him. And they used to shake the cameras. He said, "I rule the wrestling world." That was Big Daddy. Sorry, Big Daddy, I wasn't good as you, but I know. But that's how he did it, and that's how we got on the air. And that was MMWA SICW at that time. So Pete Parisi Awards, announcers, behind the scene guys on the cameras, ring guys, stuff like that. And when we get to the inductees, that make more sense to you when you see the Pete Parisi Award.
So our other guest has popped in the back here. So would you like to introduce him to the Wrestle Talk family, Jim?
Oh, wow, man. This guy is so amazing. And I got to spend some time with him. And you guys just wouldn't believe, I call him the gentle giant because he's soft talking in the ring, he'd tear you apart. He's got a 34-year career in the business. He's worked for multiple companies like Rampage Championship Wrestling, Central States Wrestling Alliance, Ultimate Wrestling Alliance, Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling, And I asked him one day, I said, who did you work for? And he says, oh man, just list the alphabet, and I probably worked for him some more time. So not only did his career for 34 years, but he's also an amazing actor. He does stunts, voiceovers. So I don't want to take too much of his shine. Let him come in and tell you all about it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you Steve Montana.
How's it going, everybody?
Everybody gets theme music this episode. I'm running the soundboard. Let's go.
I'm sorry I ran late on the other podcast in Chicago.
No,
Hey,
I'm
that's
just glad
all
you
right.
made time for us, man. Thank you.
It's good seeing you, Steve.
You too.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you here with us tonight. So thank you
Well,
for
I'm
making
honored to
time.
be here. Very honored to be here.
So, yeah, he as he was saying, there's a lot of different things that you do, with the acting and the voiceover and wrestling, and you dabble in a lot of different areas. Do you find that any of those areas lend to your wrestling, what you do in the wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, the acting definitely falls in line with the wrestling because you're working the camera the whole time you're on there. It's just everything you do, you're still thinking about wrestling. You're all your life is wrestling, but when you get on when you start doing movies, it's a little more complicated. You got to learn lines and stuff like that. When you go wrestling, you get in there and you fight. It's whatever happens. But in the movies, you have to actually learn how to react to the other, actor and all that stuff.
And 34 years of wrestling, that's a while to be around. And I'm sure that in that time you have received a lot of advice from people, and you've probably given a lot of advice as well. So what is the most sound piece of advice anybody's ever given you in the wrestling business?
Well, let's see.
How about don't hit the referee?
To me, it's just staying humble. To be humble. But I was a baby. I'm not a heel.
I was gonna say, do you find you lean more heel or babyface in your everyday life, or more in your wrestling? Like, is wrestling an outlet for that more so, or are you just a genuinely good person? Like, just
more in life, I'm a baby. But I try not to be a heel. But I have been a heel.
I find it works its way back, both in life and in wrestling.
I do not mind taking a guy out.
Now, I wanted to ask, you had mentioned don't hit the referee. Is that in reference to something?
No. I mean, sometimes they would have me take people out of the wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Thankfully, it was never the referee.
Basically, hitman. Not the referees. The referees are fine. they got to do their job, and they do a good job. It's like without them, I mean, we can't have a good match. It's like if you got a referee that's just stands there and doesn't go by the rules, what do you got? You don't have a match. You got a free for all, and you got to have somebody enforcing the law. You got to count to 5 before I hit the.
Yeah. Some referees, they have a problem counting to 5, you know?
They do. They do.
I think some referees have a problem counting to 3. I mean,
Absolutely.
It's
There's
just
been
how
many
well you
times
roll
I
that
should have
3.
There's many times I should have had 3 and I didn't.
so, you know, with the Hall of Fame, Jim, do you want to, I mean, Luke gave us a list of the inductees and the award winners and stuff, but do you want to go ahead and run down the list for us, and so that way everybody knows who's going in if they haven't already heard it?
Yeah, and Steve, jump right on in because you know a lot of these guys. So this is what's great about guys like Steve. Steve's been around. He's worked for a lot of these different guys and groups, and Steve and me passing ships here and there on different shows, and but we worked with all these guys together for a lot of years. So Steve, feel free to jump in and on some of these because I say I know you know a lot of them. So let's talk about Black Glove Butch Fletcher.
Butch Fletcher. I've known Butch Fletcher probably longer than anybody.
Yeah, that's why I said this is a good part for you.
Yeah, Finnegar's back in I don't know in the 80s. That's the first time I met Butch. And when I tried out for wrestling, I wrestled on a piece of carpet on a concrete floor in an office building. They told me you're wrestling next Friday. Think of a name or use your own name, and people are going to call you up all the time.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Butch was there. He was there before me.
Yeah. Butch has worked with a lot of different groups: MMWA, Central States Wrestling Alliance. He's also was part of Rampage Championship Wrestling. Steve and him, I know Steve is. I believe Butch is too in the Hall of Fame there for RCW. He's also did independent hardcore wrestling as a referee, manager, and announcer. Butch was promoter owner of the Mid American Extreme Pro Wrestling. I'm checking all my notes. I want to make sure I don't miss nothing. I don't want him coming with his glove after me. He's got over a 30-year career. Refereed 11 states, 3 countries.
They won't know.
Yeah, no, I ain't shy. I'm old. And like I said, I was around Butch off and on. Butch and me referee together at different places, and when you start talking about these guys and their backgrounds and their history, I always love a person that's so easy to talk to, and when we know what's going on, we get in the ring and anything can happen in the ring. Old school as we are. My rule was I know how it starts, how it's supposed to end. Don't mean that's how it's going to end. And then everything in between happens in between, and that's worked out through the wrestlers and the referee. You got to be a big part of that as well. And Butch was just that. He was just as good as any of them, and he knew how to promote the show. He knew how to push the show. And like I said, Steve, jump in there where you think I'm missing anything.
I've been to his house, man. Butch he's just been there always, He's a hell of a referee, and he's a hell of a good guy.
Yeah. So I said he's well deserving. I said and everything we put in, we vetted, we checked out. They got a history. They're just amazing group of people going in. The next one I guess we can go ahead and jump into is the Beast. Now, Steve, I know you know the Beast.
I body slammed the Beast, and that was painful for me.
I would imagine.
Yeah, and I've been in the ring with him and worked with him, and he was interesting, to say the least. Between him and the Moondog, I don't know who tried to make me break faster, but God, what a guy! Beast is a 36-year career. He's been around a long time. Yeah. He's a big part of that Mid-American Extreme Pro Wrestling. There was Powerhouse Wrestling, Rampage Championship Wrestling, so the North Championship Wrestling, Mississippi Valley Wrestling, Cottage Hills, He's competed internationally. Has competed against the Zebra Kid. You know that guy, don't you, James? I don't recall that guy, but I guess Luke did. He put that in there for me. Adam Evans, D-Ray, King Kong Bundy, Mabel, and the Samoan SWAT team. I watched that one. I watched that video. That was amazing. That was crazy. But I said, he's just amazing guy. I mean, I love talking to him. He's so fun to talk to. Totally different person out of the ring. In the ring is business. And it's amazing business. I can say that much. What do you got, Steve?
Yeah, we all once you get in that ring, you're a different person. You're a different person. You're just all business. You're focused. Everything else you don't even see. You know what's going on outside. I never see the crowd. I mean, I try and work the crowd, but in my head, you don't see none of that shit. Can I cuss?
Yes.
Okay. 2-hour show. You're good, man.
Okay.
Most people tune out by hour 1. You're fine. No.
Okay. A little late to ask, but yeah, Beast was a beast.
Yep. Yeah.
And one heavy son of a beast.
You, man. I'm glad it was you, not me picking him up. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah.
But I kind of talked to him on a couple other podcasts, and he admitted up to Tom Jones. He loves Tom Jones. He loves to sing Tom Jones. So he goes karaoke and he sings Tom Jones. And also, I said, well, we were trying to get him to do it on the podcast. He said, no, I ain't doing it on the podcast. I said, but he told me he'll do it at the Hall of Fame once he gets inducted. So we're going to hold him to that.
All right.
No shit.
Be sure to.
I also found out he knows how to do the Carlton too.
The what?
The Carlton, the dance.
Oh.
So I'm going to get him to do it all before the night's over with. But I may need you to pull him off of me once we get going.
But you know what? I could pull him off of you.
And I'm too old to run, so. Yeah, I'm not as fast as I used to be either.
Well, that's why I wrestled, because I never could run.
I guess that's why I was a good referee, because I could.
I understand fight.
Man, we had some great times. I say, guys, we could sit here and tell stories all day long and probably get in trouble somewhere down the line if we say too much, but that's another show. Let's move on to the next one. If you guys want to do the next one, let's get some more questions on this one.
Yeah, go ahead, by all means.
Okay, so we're going to go to every lady's fantasy, Marcus Mansfield. Now, here's another guy that's been around the block a little bit. He's co-founder of Central States Wrestling Alliance. He also, American Championship Wrestling, Midwest Powerhouse Wrestling, former MPW World Heavyweight Champion. He's also a former MPW Tag Team Champion. In 2017, he's a member of the Midwest Independence Wrestling Hall of Fame. And he helped train and regularly travel with Kane. Now, there's a name you don't hear too often, right? Kane is from Missouri. And so he worked with Marcus Mansfield for a while. Marcus passed away on August 2nd, 2021. And he's sorely missed it. He went too soon. Great guy, great knowledge, had a great background. Steve, I don't know, you remember Marcus Mansfield?
I tell you what, Marcus and Kane were best friends. Marcus saved my life one time. I have to say, I was really down. I was drinking a lot, and he talked to me about God and brought me back. Actually, and I wouldn't be here today probably if it wasn't for Marcus. He was one hell of a good guy.
Yeah. So again, another reason you see why this type of person belongs in our Hall of Fame.
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
He's a
they
great
always,
guy. He's a great person. He never got you down. He never get anybody down. He would always keep you. He would do whatever he had to do. To talk to somebody or just be a friend.
yeah,
It's
And a
always
hell of a
good to have those
wrestler,
type people.
man.
yeah.
Hell of a
So,
wrestler.
yeah, so it's going to be awesome. His wife is going to be there, so it's going to be amazing and a great honor to have her there as well. Uh, I mean, what more can you say? I mean, the guy's just amazing. From this, everybody I've talked to or heard of him, I mean, you couldn't go wrong with the guy. I mean, he was like Steve said, upbeat and always wanted to do right. And if somebody was down, well, like Steve said, he'd bring you back up again. So, that's kind of people we look at and say they deserve to be in this Hall of
Absolutely.
Fame. So the next one we're gonna go to is Big Bad Ben. We all know Big Bad Ben. I don't know about you guys, but we do. We know him very well. Big Bad Ben is formerly known as the Raging Cajun. That's how he originally was out there. Member of the Syndicate. He had a 17-year career. He did compete in MMWA. I remember him being over in MMWA. Rampage Championship Wrestling, Midwest Renegade Wrestling, and he helped created the Gateway Championship Wrestling. And when you talk about the Gateway Championship Wrestling, that's when you go back and think about all the people he brought in to the business. He helped keep going and be a part of the business. In 2016, he was the Midwest Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame member. He helped train Mischief. We just inducted her recently. He also trained Hayes, Matt Seidel, Delirious, and Delirious is started doing his thing. So, I mean, you got some of these guys are just legends in the system. He also did the first exploding ring match when the ring exploded in the St. Louis area. Yeah, he did so much. He wrestled with guys like Pete Madden. I mean, we all worked with Pete Madden one time or another. Pete's an awesome guy. Derek Stone, Ty Dalton, Steve Sharp, Gary Jackson, Dingo, Mikaze, the Sandman, Adam Pierce, New Jack, One Man Gang, Balls Mahoney. And he's known for his choke slam and power bomb. Unfortunately, Ben passed away too early too. He passed away back on April 24, 2019. And I said, I know him. My family, my in-laws know him. He used to go to my in-laws' house for Christmases and stuff. And they used to play corkball. Guy might tell my age. We used to, he's one of the corkball groups. And yeah, what an amazing guy. I mean, he was fun to talk to. Like I said, he helped launch a lot of careers too. And not much he wouldn't do to make a match work or get it over. And so, Steve, what you got? I want to give you some time. I don't want to do all this talking.
Oh, you're doing fine, man. I mean, I'm just honored to be here. Honored to be here. Honored to be put in the Hall of Fame. This will be the third one for me, and it's just like everyone is more special than the last. All these guys, the Beast.
Those would be fun memories, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, may need a mite off.
I get tired just thinking about it. It's just I get tired just thinking about how wore out I am.
All right, then we'll go on to the next one. Yo, go ahead.
What does the Beast weigh?
Man, I couldn't even tell you right now.
I tell you what, I picked him up. I can't pick him up now.
I'm sure that is probably 3+. I'm sure.
I couldn't pick him up now. I couldn't even pick up one of the new guys right now. I'm so out of shape. Well, it's been like 10 years for me to be out, or 14, I think.
Yeah.
2014, I stopped wrestling in just started with the movies.
Yeah. All right. Well, then we'll go on to the Pete Parisi Award. We just talked about this, and you were here, Steve. But I showed my age talking about beta tapes and stuff. So, it goes along with the 8-tracks, right?
VHF, yeah.
Yeah. Remember those very well, don't we?
Yeah.
So, Pete Parisi Award would be the one and only Tom Simon. Tom's another guy. He's been all over the place. I mean, this guy is just amazing, the career he's had and still has. He's really still doing a lot of stuff out there. Tom had a 27-year career. He wrestled, he refereed, ring announced, promotions of Central Championship Wrestling, Independent Hardcore Wrestling, Rampage Championship Wrestling, Mississippi. Man, all these wrestling, man, you guys are wearing me out on this wrestling. So, Mississippi Valley Wrestling, Alliance, St. Louis Anarchy, Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling, Mid-South Wrestling, Vapors Championship Wrestling, Traditional Championship Wrestling, USA Championship Wrestling. He referee announced at the California Howard Club reunion. He's a big part of the California Howard Club. He goes every year. He's a big part of them. He also goes to the Hall of Fame induction in Waterloo, Iowa. He's an accomplished musician, Army veteran. And here's something that I got a kick out of. I love when he talks about it. He was an announcer for roller derby.
I loved roller derby.
Oh, I used to love roller derby. That was so much fun.
Yeah. Wrestling in the chase and then roller derby after that.
Oh, absolutely, man. You couldn't not go watch the Thunders and all them go at it. And eventually you'll have, I'm sure, Tom on here, and I don't want to take away his thunder either, so I'll let him tell those stories. But, man, this guy's got so amazing. And then the other thing I can say is that he sang at different venues. He sang at the national anthem at different venues. And this year he's going to sing the national anthem for us at our venue this year. What's up, Lamont Thomas? I see you, brother. What's up, Doc? So, like I said, great guy. I've spoken to him on numerous times and talked to him. The stories that were told and are going to be told, it's going to be amazing. So you don't want to miss out on that, guys. Get those tickets, because I'm telling you, there's so much history. I believe Luke added it up the other day. I think I heard him say it was like almost 300 or 400 years of wrestling talent when you combine everybody together. So a lot of history in there. Anything else for there, Steve?
What do you want to know?
Oh, something, brother. I'm doing all this talking here.
Yeah, I'm just listening. Sounds good.
See how he makes me work? See, you always make the referee work hard. I don't get it.
You know what? That's the whole part. It's like all I got to do is fight. You got to keep us under control. That's the hard part. I've reffed before, and it's not an easy job.
Shit, yeah. You guys made me work hard. I care to admit too. And then when you got to do 6 or 7 matches in the night, yeah, it makes for a long night.
Hey, look at that. Oh.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys just kill me with that stuff. I just don't get it. It's like the best referee is the blindest and the deafest referee you ever saw in your life.
No. I have to disagree with that, because I like the referee to pay attention. I can get out for 10 seconds and get back in 9.
Well, that was the nice thing about Broadway. We had the baby referee. Remember that? That was Bobby Patton. And then we had the heel referee, which was Cowboy Bob. I was the referee in the middle. I didn't like none of them, so it didn't matter. So my job was easy. I called it right down the line. I didn't like nobody, so I couldn't pay me off and couldn't get me mad enough to go against you and do a bad count. So I was fair down the board. So I'm one of the few. All right, so let's go to the President's Award. Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. The valedictorian Keon Option. I didn't get to meet him. I think maybe but once or twice. Never got to work with him. This is one of Luke's people he brought to me to review and look at. President's Award is the award that I give out. We've had 2 President's Awards this year, and I review and look at the information, the data that comes to me, and when they're passionate enough about it, trust me, they give me a lot of data on these guys and information. And when I start reading through, I decide, that they do deserve to be in there. They weren't in the ring for a long period of time, but they did give a lot to the independent wrestling, and that's what made them able to get on through the President's Award. So this one's going to be a little bit longer. This is me reading a Luke Roberts speech right here, and we know how Luke likes to talk. So he had a 6-year career. Like I said, it wasn't a very long career like a lot of us had. He competed for such promotions as Dynamo Pro Wrestling, World League Wrestling, Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling, New Breed Wrestling, and High Risk Wrestling. He's a former Dynamo Pro Tag Team Champion. He competed against such wrestlers as Ricky Cruz, The Snitch, Camaro, Jackson, Jaden Dominic Rose, Adrian Surge, Mike Outlaw Makazi, Leland Race, The Professionals, Danny Adams, Trevor Murdoch, Superstar Steve Fender, High Level Enterprise, and the Agents of Chaos. That's a pretty darn good list. That's a lot of names there. He held a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's degree in public administration. So he's a very intelligent person, had a great knowledge and background. He also was a former Army National Guard officer candidate. He was a former president of the NAACP Units 4731, former founder and national fraternity president, Alpha Omega Theta Christian Fraternity. And let's see. He also ran for the Missouri House of Representatives, District 71 in 2016. He passed away on July 15, 2019, during the Army National Guard training exercise. So, this guy has done so much in a short period of time, and everybody I've talked to said what a great guy he was and how much he gave to the training with everybody, working with everybody, trying to help everybody get over and get their stuff going. And again, another reason why he should be in the Hall of Fame. Did I just put you all to sleep? I know it was a Luke speech.
Nah.
Luke's going to kill me later, I know, but he'll be all right.
No, you're not putting me to sleep. I think it's fascinating, just all the all the history that's going in, and the talent and everything. It's all just so fascinating to me.
Yeah. And then the last one I'm going to throw in here, so I give Steve his time so he can give us all his stuff, because I want to steal his thunder. The last one, President Award, is going to be Johnny Ramirez. Now, Johnny Ramirez was around for a long time. He accomplished wrestler and a referee. He competed in the National Wrestling Alliance, Central States Wrestling, Southwest Sports, and the St. Louis Wrestling Club. Competed against such wrestlers as Skandar Akbar, Big Bill Miller, Sonny Myers, Pat O'Connor, Bob Geigel, Angelo Poffo, Joe Blanchard, and the Crusher. He passed away on April 28, 2008. He was a big part of the NWA. He was at the Wrestling at the Chase, doing a lot of stuff for Wrestling at the Chase. He was a referee for Wrestling at the Chase and a lot of different organizations. And just a great all-around guy. And if you watch some of the old stuff with Larry talks about him a lot. Larry Mattis actually talks about him a lot. It's just great history with this guy. And that's all your Hall of Famers.
Definitely a great class going in there, and a lot of big names there, and just it's got to be an honor for them to be inducted. So I'm happy for each one of them, and congratulations to everybody who's going in, and it's definitely something that you're not going to want to miss. And
so Yeah, I mean, come on out to it's July 19th at Andre's Banquet Hall. And the nice thing about this year is we're going to have a pre-show. So we're going to have a lot of people coming on. You don't know who may be on there, who may not be on there. So may want to check it out, see the pre-show. And then after the event, we're going to have a post-show. So you'll get to see a lot of the inductees come on there and talk and be a big part of what's going on. And there's a lot of different things going on. So we're going to have a lot of new releases on plaques and stuff like that and different things. And it's going to be interesting. You want to know what's all going on, you got to come down and check it out on July 19th and see what's going on.
Yeah. So have you officially announced who's hosting everything? I see Luke put it in here. Has that been officially announced already, or?
Yes, it has. So Jeremy Carper will return to do the hosting for us. So he did such a great job last year, and we had a good discussion. And we asked him if he was interested, and he said, "Hell yeah, he'll come on." So, and we didn't want to push the issue because he's getting married right after that.
Yeah.
So we're kind of crushing him in time. So, but he said he wanted to do it. So we're proud and honored to say Jeremy Carp from the Interstate 70 show will be there.
Yeah, and Luke also provided here Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame will be Sunday, July 19th, Andre's Banquet Hall on Telegraph Road in St. Louis, Missouri. Pre-show hosted by Around the Ropes radio show and Wrestle Talk podcast at 11:30 a.m. Doors open 12:30 p.m. Event starts 1 p.m. Post-show hosted by the Around the Ropes radio show and Wrestle Talk podcast. After the conclusion of the Hall of Fame, tickets $30 each in advance, $35 at the door. And then he also provided the website, istlwhof.com, which we'll put out there for you so that you can actually see it. Be easier that way than trying to type as I'm talking there. So
there you go. And guys, you don't want to miss out because it sells out. It's been selling out almost every year, the last 2 years especially. We started off in a smaller hall, and then we ended up going to the bigger hall, and we end up packing it. So this year we're going to be back in the bigger hall, and I mean, it's going to be amazing. It's so much fun. You get to meet with the wrestlers. It's not just wrestlers, guys, and their families. Fans are more than welcome to come. And for $30, you're getting a meal. Where else you go get a meal for $30? There's not too many other shows I know. You pay more than that to go to a WWE show, and you still got to buy your own food and everything. So, I mean, let's think about that. You're getting $30. You get to come get a meal. You get to, we're going to have all kinds of wrestling stuff around. I know I'm bringing my referee shirt that I've retired in. We got the great Billy Diamond, Wild Child, bringing his kendo stick, so that'll be there. The last boots that Johnny Ramirez wore will be there. You know, so there's going to be different histories. We were told Jeremy Lightfoot's have one of his headdresses there. Luke's bringing a bunch of stuff. Extreme Kim Chi's going to have one or two items there as well. I mean, where else do you go to get to see the history? And then we're going to have the Hall of Fame belt there, so a lot of people are going to want to take pictures with that. I know Gabriel wishes he was here. He wants to hold that belt. I know he does.
that is a gorgeous belt.
That is a gorgeous belt. Yeah. So
I saw pictures of it last year, and you know that belt was one of them that was designed by Doomed Outfitters. So
yes, it was. They did a great job.
Definitely a nice belt there, and you know, I just had the keep grabbing the wrong thing. I had the website up there, the istlwhof.com, TLWOF.com. So be sure to go over there, check it out. Um, and you guys have a lot of big names that have been inducted in the Hall of Fame in the past, and some that are recognized even outside of the St. Louis area.
Yeah. Well,
So,
Steve is our second performer. I call them the Hollywood guys because Steve has done so many movies and voiceovers and stuff. He just messaged me, said his phone died on him, so that's why he's not on here. So hopefully you can find a charger and get back on here. But he does a lot of movies. Like I said, his own stunts and stuff. He grew up around horses and things like that, so it's just natural for him. And I think that when you look at that, you say, well, who else did we have? Steve Sharp. He's another guy. He's still doing movies. Matter of fact, he's got a bunch of movies, but you know him as Bishop Stevens in the movie world. And he's worked The Walking Dead and a bunch of other shows that we've seen on TV. He's got a bunch of movies out there right now that are going out on, I think it's Netflix and a couple other places. That's a guy you really need to get on here and talk to because, God, what a history, what a background. He's traveled all around. He's worked at different big shows. I worked with him and his brother for years in the ring. And, God, what amazing guys they are. And very humble and very kind and great people to talk to. I think we got the great Cora Combs that went in. I mean, everybody's got a little history, Cora. And she's been around forever. She was part of a lot of the chases and stuff like that. And when you see these amazing people, I mean, they're just couldn't touch them for what they know, what they've done, and what they've given to the sport, and gave us as a legacy to go forward on.
well, and I mean, there's people like Earl Hebner,
Yeah.
that has been inducted. So I mean, you've got some real some names, that they've seen from WWE and stuff, and
Mhm.
it's definitely quite impressive when you look through the names of people who have been inducted. So
Yeah,
looks
well,
like
it's not only Earl. We got Dave Hebner in there too.
yeah,
The Hebner brothers are in there, and I worked with their Hebners. I got several pictures of us working together. Hey, look at there, Steve. Hey,
I'm back.
you're back.
My phone
So
died. I'm sorry.
you're good, brother. And so when I retired, Earl Hebner and Brian Hebner came down when I retired from my retirement, and it was just fun. Great to be around guys like that. So it made it worthwhile. And now I'm going to shut up because I know you're tired of hearing me by now. And Steve's here. I'm going to let Steve. I want to take no more thunder from Steve here. He's got all kinds of stuff he could tell us. And man, I like being around Steve. He is so quiet and gentle, but get in the ring, he'll kill you. I'm telling you.
What is one of your greatest memories from being in the ring, Steve?
Oh shit! There's so many. I mean, I loved being in the ring with Bob Orton, Greg the Valentine, and Greg the Hammer, I should say. And working with Herb Simmons was a great thing. He was he's a hell of a promoter. But well, geez, I had so many. It's just like I can't pinpoint one in particular. I do remember Wrestle Royale that I thought was pretty cool, and we had guys from Memphis, we had guys from Texas, uh, we had Steve Brigo, we had Chris Adams, Motley Cruz, Rough and Ready, and we had a new guy that was called Matt Burns, and this is one that Frank had brought up and put in the ring. And he's out there, and I'm sitting in the corner, and I'm really relaxed in Wrestle Royals. and he's out there just jumping jacks, and he's all getting all limber, and he looks over, and Chris Adams and Motley Crue and Steve Rigo standing there looking at him. He goes, Steve, why are they staring at me? I says, fresh meat, fresh meat. And he's like, "Ah." First thing they did is throw him out of the ring, you know. But just everything was just great. You know, through all my years, I can't really pinpoint anybody in particular that was, you know, every match was just wonderful. You know, it was just like some of them hurt more than others, but you know, you suffered through it, and that's you lived through it, and that was great. You know, and they're all your best friends when it's all over. Just like UFC, you know, it's like you fight, but then you shake hands afterwards.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about fresh meat, I mean, we got the young lion with the old soul sitting over here, you know, and he wants to break into the wrestling business. So, you know, I want to make sure that he gets some questions in because I'm sure he's got plenty of them. So, Gabe, if you want to unmute yourself and ask a few questions here.
Well, I mean, my biggest question really is how do I make sure I have longevity?
If you can take the heat. First thing I'm going to do is whoop your ass. And if you get back in the ring with me, then you have made it.
Okay.
You know, you just keep fighting. If you can get up, it's not how Sylvester Stallone says, it's not how many times you get knocked out, it's how many times you get up.
It's always the biggest thing I worry about, you know? And then as somebody who's actually looking into getting to acting myself, how do I get my foot in the door? Like that's such a broad question. Rather, how will I know I've had an opportunity?
Well, you need to take acting classes for one, and get into. There's a lot of independent filmmakers that will start new people out, but your best bet is to take acting classes and learn the etiquette for being on set, because that's very important. If you don't do what you're supposed to do on set, you will not be on set.
And then I've heard you've done stunts before.
What's that?
Have you done stunts before?
Stunts? Oh yeah.
What would you say is the worst bump you've taken wrestling wise versus the worst bump you've taken as a stuntman?
The worst bump I took was from. Yeah. Let me think of his name. What was his name? I can't think of his name right now. Was in South Broadway. Wore a mask. He was a big black guy. Harris, can you help me out here?
Yeah, I'm trying to think now.
He would come. He would
It's
come
Cat
here in his
something.
mask.
Yeah, it was Cat something. I can't remember his name now.
Big black cat.
Big Black Cat. Yeah.
Big black cat. He picked me up and slammed me on my freaking head. That was the worst bump I think I've ever took. I think my neck is still messed up from him. But I mean, I've been through some brutal matches, but I've been hit between the eyes with the chair sideways, hard, you know, busted open, and that would be Gypsy Joe. And I think a lot of people know who Gypsy Joe is. He never backed
Oh
down.
yeah.
He, whatever I don't kid you. You could hit him with a freaking sledgehammer and he'd get back up again. And he was the meanest son of a bitch I ever fought. But the bigger the guys are, the more they hurt. And that's just the way it is. I mean, you get in the ring with a 300-pound muscle guy, and he's gonna fuck your shit up. And if you get back up and you get back in there, then you're gonna make it. And you're gonna eat a lot of eggs and protein.
That's my biggest thing. I gotta start putting on some muscle. I'm a
You
little
gotta put the
small.
weight on. You gotta work out, man.
Gotta start doing push-ups.
I worked
Oh, that's-
out 3 days a week. I ate as much food as I could eat protein wise, eggs, tuna fish. I even got mercury poison from eating too much tuna fish.
Jeez.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, you got to really dedicate yourself to it.
Yeah, because I think a lot of what I saw in the ring was a lot of they blow out early. They blow
else
up
you got?
before they do it. No cardio.
Number one thing I'm working on is my cardio. For that exact reason.
Yeah, and Nikki says you got to get back up in the ring to earn the respect of those vets. So
You do. I'm old school, and I will test you. But if you get back up, then I will respect you.
and she also says indie wrestling is the gateway, just like indie films are the gateway. So you gotta
Really.
cut your teeth there. That's where you start.
These are the pieces. I gotta fit them together.
What was that?
I said these are the pieces. I just gotta fit them together.
Just stay with it. Keep fighting. Get back up. Take the bumps and learn from them.
Those are gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you say you got to get in or you got to work. And if you don't get in or work and show that you're willing to work, or
One of my early matches, I wrestled Gypsy Joe and Tojo Yamamoto, and I tried to take my high spot too early. And they beat the living hell out of me with the bamboo cane pose, and I mean, they literally knocked me out and threw me out of the ring. And Gary Lawler was my partner, and we won the match without me. But when I woke up, I mean, they're like holding my hand up, and I'm like, oh. And I see Gypsy getting out of the ring, and I'm like, I'm so pissed off still. I look down, there's a chair sitting right there. And Herb Simmons was there. He says, don't do it, Steve. Don't do it. And I grabbed that chair and I ran after him and I flattened him. I mean, I hit his face first on the floor. And this is when I started out, pretty young. And we got in the back room and he come up to me, he says, son, he goes, boy, you're learning. So that's it. That's it, man. Get out there and kick some freaking ass. Don't hold back.
All right.
So when you got legends, like Steve and Jimmy and Luke, soak up the knowledge there, Gabe. I mean, I've never taken a bump myself. I'm a commentator, but just soak up the knowledge from those who you can get it from, because they've been there, they've done it, and they can steer you the right way.
The most important thing is learning how to take a bump. You're learning how, when a guy picks you up, to slam you, you got to get your legs
That's why I'm
over.
waiting till I actually get to a wrestling ring before I practice it. I'm like, I don't know that I want to do that at home yet. I'm like, working out, yes. I'm like, learning how to take a bump, wait till somebody there to teach you how to do it.
You got to get in there and take some bumps to learn how to take a bump. You got to. It's a catch can catch style is what the rule book tells you. I can pick you up and throw you, but I have to make sure that you also can catch yourself. You know how to catch yourself to save yourself. You know, so you got to learn how to take the bumps when somebody gets you in that bump. You know, and if I slam you, you got to hit your shoulders, your feet first. That's going to save you. Otherwise, if you don't know how to do it, if you don't know how to take a fall, because they're going to put you in a fall. Somebody grabs you by the neck and throws you. If you don't go with it, you're going to get your neck broke. You got to go with the flow. And that's just to save your ass, from getting hurt.
Yeah, and one thing you guys got to realize too, even as referees, us old school,
you guys got a lot of dead space here.
Yeah, but can you guys hear me? Okay,
start talking.
Yeah,
okay.
We hear you.
So,
I'm absorbing the information. I want to make sure I'm actually listening.
Yeah, well, even being a referee, you had to go in there and bump,
man.
So,
and you learn how to give a bump.
Yeah. Yeah, because even as a referee, we trained with them, so we had to take the bumps too. So you learn to be a good referee. You had to go in there and take the bumps and fly just with them.
Right.
You're no good without doing it.
Gotta hang with the boys.
That's it.
What's that?
I said you gotta hang with them.
I don't think Steve can hear me.
Yeah, I've seen many referees that have taken a bump. So it's
the referees.
Yeah,
you guys have to take bumps too. Sometimes more than we do. I mean, I'd love to throw you guys out of the ring half the time.
Nice what I said my comment about be nice to the referee.
Sure, one of them.
Just ask Nightmare Jones.
Huh?
I said, just ask Nightmare Jones, Joe Lance. He's one of them that started Wrestle Talk Podcast, and he's a independent referee. And I can't even count the number of times I've seen him have to take a bump, or I've seen him get tased, or I've seen him take just as much stuff as I have the wrestlers.
Ask Jimmy. I'm sure he knows a lot about that.
Amen, brother. I've been spiked power drive by Ron Powers in the other ring.
Jimmy?
Yeah. Can you let Steve know? I don't think he's hearing me.
Am I losing you guys with sound?
No, we can still hear you.
We're hearing you. Are you hearing us?
I hear you.
Okay.
I'm hearing a lot of dead space here in between.
Maybe
I don't think he's hearing me.
Delayed.
Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe it's delayed.
Yeah. Are you hearing Jimmy?
No.
No. Okay. That's why you're hearing the dead space. Then that's where he's coming in. I'm hearing him, and I believe Gabe's hearing him, right? So, okay.
Yeah, Steve's just ignoring me. That's what it is.
Hey, talk to me, Jimmy.
He just said you're ignoring him. That's what it is.
I've been
spiked. Man, I ain't paying no attention to him.
See, this is what I get. See, this is what you get. You're a good referee, and they just ignore you.
Yeah, I'm having a bad time with
Jimmy. Remember, the best referees are the ones that you forget are there.
Exactly.
They gotta blend in. So you're a master of your craft, even in an interview.
I'll tell you what, I've reffed, and that is one of the hardest jobs there is.
Well, they got to know where the camera is.
One of the hardest jobs there is.
They're kind of like directors in a way, They're just like, all right, scene 2.
Yeah, because I've I've seen where a good referee can add to a match, but a bad referee can completely ruin a match.
I
You know?
absolutely 100%.
And a lot of people don't think the ref has that much to do with it. They're just there to count that 3, but no, the refs really do have a lot to do with that match and how that match turns out, you know, whether it's a good match or a bad one. So
Absolutely.
I like to give refs a lot of crap, you know, especially Joe. You know, I'm always giving him a hard time, but
It's
know,
a part of wrestling I would like to learn, honestly. Like, that's, to me, I'm like, if I can get into the business just starting doing that, that'd be great. Because like that's an aspect that you can consider even when you're a wrestler. Is the placement of the referee and their calls. The psychology.
That's a good place to start learning.
I gotta apply. Boca Raton Wrestling, are you hiring? I got a car, I can make it out there. We do it. Honestly, that's actually, yeah, maybe that's the initiative. There's plenty of places here in Florida. I'm just being lazy. So I gotta get out there.
I would say
Yeah.
getting a ref job would be an easy job to get because nobody wants to do it.
Then somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it, and you got to be a good at it. You know, you got to know.
I got strong hands.
You got what?
I have strong hands for when I'm counting the 3. I'm going to be doing it all night.
How about you, Jimmy?
Well, you know me.
He don't hear me at all.
Yeah.
No, he's hearing you.
I hear you.
Oh, you
I
hear
hear
me?
you. You're not hearing me.
I said
You're just not
you're
hearing him.
ugly.
I'm gonna go.
I said you're ugly.
I'm gonna go out
and
and come
your
back
mother
here and see if
dresses
that
you
works.
All right.
Well, let's hope he didn't hear that part.
He said he's going to go out and come back in and see if that fixes it for you.
Okay.
This is going great.
That's okay.
So yeah, it's definitely a pleasure and an honor to be able to talk to somebody that has the experience that you guys have, you know.
See, that's where the Wrestle Talk podcast separates us from other wrestling podcasts. We get people.
Can you
in
hear
the
me,
wrestling
Jimmy?
business.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Ah, there we go.
It's about time. About time you listen to me.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, exactly. No, what I was saying, Steve, was we trained just as hard as the wrestlers did. We had to go in there and take every bump, every roll. We didn't sit on a chair and we didn't just sit and watch people work. You were in there working. You had to build your cardio up. You had to do all the bumps and everything they were doing.
I've refed, and that was one of the hardest jobs in wrestling there was.
Yeah, it's a lot going on in the ring and lots that you got to do, and then you got to have a promoter that has faith and trust in you to do the job because they know that you're kind of orchestrating what's going on in that ring, and we're trying to now you're not only keeping time, but you're trying to keep them going. You know, a lot of times I say, "Hey, you're losing the audience. You need to pick it up, or we're going home." Or you know, it's
Right.
just to keep everybody strong in the ring is your goal.
You are the director in there.
Yeah.
You tell us when and where.
Yeah. And I remember being spiked power drive middle of the ring by Ron Powers. I do remember that.
Ron Powers.
Yeah, he spiked power drive me in the middle of the ring. I do remember those days, yes.
I've tag teamed with Ron. Me and Ron started about the same time.
Yeah. But I let you guys take the chair shots. I don't do chair shots.
me and Ron and Bob Orton tagged a triple tag team match in St. Louis. I think at the Carpenters Hall.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. So, like I said, and our Gabriel, if you want to learn, go be a referee. But remember, you got to work as hard as those wrestlers. So don't go down to a gym and think I'm just going to sit here and watch. That's not going to happen. I promise you that, because you're going to get in there, you're going to roll, you're going to bump, you're going to learn how to run ropes, you're going to do how to do everything. And I said, I worked my butt off to get where I was at, and I took plenty of bumps and bloody mouths and everything along the way. But like Steve said, you get back up, you get back in, and you keep going. You don't stop. And the wrestlers will have more respect for you as the referee because of that. And because you listen and because you try to work hard, you don't try and make them look bad in the ring.
You have to keep the law.
That's it. You are the law.
You are the law. I'm the law.
There you go. I don't need no stinking badge.
That's the way you got to go in as a ref.
Gun that I can talk to.
Law.
Well, and Steve can vouch for this. You're not only there for the rest to be the third guy in the ring, you're also there as the bodyguard, because you're going to have that one drunk that's going to jump the rail, try to get in that ring, and the wrestlers, while they're doing what they're doing, depend on you to take that guy out. And I've taken many a guy out off of that apron and put them down. So you got to be just as mean and tough as the wrestlers at that point.
Just hook 'em.
Yeah, I've knocked a few drunks on their butts off of the apron. So
Right. So we got a little too many drinks.
Yeah. There's always that one hero in the crowd.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So, well, Gabe, are you ready to move into our next segment?
I think so. Got to
All
end this
right.
episode with a bang.
I'm going to let Steve have this. I was already involved in those other ones.
Well, actually, I was told you were supposed to be the one playing, but what I was thinking is, Gabe thinks he's the best and that he knows everything, but why don't we put him at a disadvantage and make this a handicap match? So for this challenge, why don't we make it Gabriel Arsene versus Jimmy Harris and Steve Montana at the same time? They can be a team against you. So, you ready for that, Gabe?
I think so, but we gotta inform Steve. This is his first time.
So
This is his first time.
all right. So what we like to do what's called the world famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. And basically we make it the best 2 out of 3 falls, and it's trivia. And we're going to throw out trivia questions, and the first one that gets 2 answers correct will win the game show challenge.
Oh, shoot.
So, are you good to play?
We're old, dude.
I'm good to go. Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Jimmy's
Well,
trying to kill me on this.
Before we actually get into it here, we got a little bit of music here. And just to set the mood. All right. So, welcome to this week's edition of the world famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Tonight's contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls and features the young lion with the old soul, Gabriel Arsene, and the executive director of the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, big time Jim Harris, as well as one of this year's inductees, Steve Montana. So, all right, in a few moments, I will give you information on 3 professional wrestling personalities. When you think you know who it is, Just shout out your answer. First person to win 2 out of 3 falls is tonight's winner. So basically, I'll give you the clues, and you just shout out who you think it is. And if you shout somebody out and it's not right, feel free to continue to shout out until we get a correct answer. And, if it comes from either Steve or Big Jim, they will get the point. If it comes from Gabe, he will get the point. And the first one to get 2 right wins tonight's challenge. In honor of tonight's guest, tonight's game show challenge is guest referees. The following people have been special guest referees. When you think you know the answer, just shout it out. So, are we ready?
Let's go.
Special
All right.
referees.
So, question number 1. This former WWF Tag Team Champion with Adrian Adonis is a WWE Hall of Famer. He was the greatest referee for the main event of SummerSlam 1988. Most recently, he has been... Who?
I said Earl Hebner.
No. Recently, he has been the governor of Minnesota and special commentator. Jesse Ventura is correct. Ventura. So whenever you think
I forgot he was with
the
Adrian.
You don't have to wait for me to finish. You can just yell out whenever you think you know it. So question number 2. This WWE Hall of Famer has spent time in WWE and AEW. He was referee for WrestleMania 14 main event between Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Name this baddest man on the planet.
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson is correct. So technically, Gabe has gotten 2 falls. However, I do have another question. So we're going to make this one double or nothing. Winner take all. Whoever gets this one will win the whole thing. So, for this question, at WrestleMania 13, this former NWA World Champion, WWF Intercontinental Champion, and Tag Team Champion and UFC Hall of Famer refereed
Ken Shamrock.
Ken Shamrock is correct.
Let's go! I know about wrestling.
Gabe has actually swept the team of Steve Montana and Big Jim Harris. I can't believe it.
Hey, we don't waste our time with the WWE people.
We have a little bit of music here for Gabe since he likes to celebrate so much.
I said we make it triple or nothing, and Gabe gets in the ring with Steve, and let's see how that works out.
Oh, okay. Immediately violence. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Let's fight it out.
Well,
yeah, see how many knots you can put him in.
So, gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight. And
thank you for having us.
We really appreciate it. And Steve, you want to shout out your social medias where people can find you if they want to follow you?
Well, I mean, you can follow me on my chart or and this is there. You can go to Steve Montana Actor on YouTube and see a couple of my films on there. Other than that, there's some out there on Prime and everything else. But I'm just proud to be here and proud to be a Hall of Fame. And I just thank everybody very much for voting me in.
Well, it was an honor to have you on, and I know that there's still a lot of stuff that we really didn't get to talk to you about too much, and so just promise us that you will come back to the show,
Absolutely, yeah.
sometime so that we
We'd
can
love a
sit
dedicated
down and
episode.
dig a little deeper.
Yeah, I was gonna
Anytime you
say, we
want,
can get
yeah.
you for a second hour.
So, well, second hour, heck, I think we're getting ready to go into a third hour here before too much longer. So,
Hey, Steve's worth it. Let me tell you, you get some great stories and great information from the man. He's amazing.
hey, let me tell you, both of you gentlemen are worth it, and it's always a pleasure to have you guys. And Jim, you want to shout out where people can follow you as well?
Yeah, well, I'm mainly on Facebook. I don't do all that extra social media with you guys too, but you see me on Facebook. I also have my own for wrestling, Jimmy Big Time Harris, out there. If you want to find me on Facebook, and then also you'll find us at the Independent St. Louis Hall of Fame, WrestlingHallOfFame.com, ISTLWHOF.com. We got all our stuff there. With me being on the director's board, so I'm kind of busy running all over the place, and Nikki and Luke have to keep me in line and keep me moving the right direction. But that's where you'll find me at.
Now, I find that hard to believe because if Luke has to keep you in line, who's keeping Luke in line?
Well, right now he's ducking diving mischief since he took a long speech and cut hers short. So he's ducking diving for mischief right now.
So, gentlemen, thank you both for being here. Like I said, it's always a pleasure to have you, Jimmy. And you're welcome back anytime. Steve, it has been a pleasure to have you here for the first time, and you also are welcome back anytime. And we
Thanks for
definitely are
having
going to
me.
have to get you back to hear some more of those stories and to dig a little deeper into some of the stuff that we didn't get into tonight. So,
Anytime.
all right, thank you, gentlemen. It has been a pleasure, and
Thank you, guys.
and welcome Steve to the Wrestle Talk family.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Take it easy, guys.
Thank you.
Jim.
Well, Gabe, it's been another great show. It's great when we get to talk to Jimmy anytime, and it was good to talk with Steve and get to learn a little more about him.
We really do got to get a dedicated episode. It's like we covered so much in this, and so much of
Yeah.
this was like shooting from the hip. So I'm like, I just imagine if we get like sit down and get the one time, because it's like we're really spotlighting the Hall of Fame more than anything, and why shouldn't we? But it's like a dedicated episode for a St. Louis Hall of Famer. Think about that, man. That's enough to fuel like the next 4 episodes.
And when you talk about the Hall of Fame and everything, we do have to thank them. We get a lot of support from the St. Louis Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame, and so thank you to all the support that you provide to Wrestle Talk. And it's always great when we get to talk with you guys. So before we get out of here, Gabe, do you want to shout out our sponsors one last time as scroll across the bottom here?
Absolutely. As always, the Wrestle Talk Podcast would like to thank our fantastic sponsors, Retro Zone, Painter's Dream Productions, the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, Doomed Outfitters, World Domination Wrestling Alliance, and the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group.
That's right.
Yeah.
Enjoy my title while you can.
Oh, trust me. I'll enjoy my title for as long as I want, Hardcore Haas, because this ain't over. But just watch your back, because you never know when I'm coming.
Oh, don't worry. I'm watching, and I'll get that title before it's over. So
you keep telling yourself that. Nah, as always, it has been the young lion with the old soul and Hardcore Haas coming from the Wrestle Talk Podcast. Anything else we need to kill before we close out, man?
Thank you to all the fans. We couldn't do this without your support. I know at one point we were close to 100 comments tonight. So, thank you guys. Just keep sharing the broadcast. Share us out there. Tell other people about Wrestle Talk. And if you got anybody that you definitely would like to see on Wrestle Talk, feel free, hit one of us up. Let us know. We'd be more than happy to reach out to them and see if we can't make that happen, because there are a lot of people out there that have great, interesting stories, that Gabe or myself or Luke or Susie or Ace. Yeah, there we go. I almost forgot Ace. Ooh, I'd never hear the end of that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the Night Owl. One of them may not know one of the wrestlers that's in an area that you're in. So, hit us up, or if you happen to be watching the show and you happen to be in the wrestling business, and you want to come on, hit us up. Let us know. We'll be more than happy to get people on here that you want to learn more about, as well as if you want to come on yourself and you're in the wrestling business. Just hit one of us up and let us know. We'll work it out for you. So
we're looking to spotlight anybody and everybody. So be sure to hit us up if you're a fan of wrestling, if you are a wrestler yourself, if you know somebody in the wrestling business that would love to give us some of their time here on the Wrestle Talk Podcast. We will be sure to spotlight them. We welcome anybody into the WTP family.
So real quick, always, before we get out of here, I just want to throw it out there one last time. The Hall of Fame. It's a great event. Be sure to check it out. It's the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, Saturday, July 19th, Andre's Banquet Center, 4254 Telegraph Road, St. Louis, Missouri. They have a pre-show at 11:30. Doors open 12:30. Event starts at 1. Post-show afterwards. Tickets $30 in advance, $35 at the door if they have them, because they normally sell out. So get your tickets early. Be sure, check them out, istlwhof.com, and get your tickets. Support the Hall of Fame. Great guys over there and a great cause there. So that will do us for tonight, Gabe. It's been a pleasure.
And as always, this is Hardcore Hoss and Gabriel Arsen rolling from the Wrestle Talk Podcast. Thank you and good night.